Economics. Welcome to everyone. Today is going to be the 2023 KYC Know Your Candidate virtual session. To the audience, to all the alumni, students, and faculty, we say welcome back. We've missed you, and to all the other guests, we say welcome. Thank you all for attending. We hope that at the end you get to know each candidate up for election a little better. Just going to run through some housekeeping quickly, if that's okay. Because of time limits and size of this meeting, we ask that everyone attending please keep to some general guidelines to avoid distracting candidates. I think admin has worked on some of that, so that would be a bit easier. But we ask that you all keep your cameras off, please. Keep your mics muted. The chat function will be active. This is separate from the Q&A function or the Zoom button to ask moderators or town hall team members if you want to ask a question. I believe there will be set times where general questions can be posed to the candidates, but in the meantime, the chat is active. There will be an audience question time that will open towards the end of each candidate's segment, towards in the middle of their segments. Please note, any questions for candidates that come in before the question time officially starts may not be considered from a random pool of questions presented to candidates. Please wait till audience time before you start sending your questions for the actual audience. To introduce my team and the moderators, the town hall team for tonight, I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Gabriel Eka, pioneer set 2006 economics. And I'm going to introduce Cynthia Obioha, 2010 sets, computer science. That's our chief whip or our question master. And for our town hall timekeeper and the IT oversight, IT support, Omoshola Adenubi, 2012 set biochemistry. Hold on, let me just take a quick look at the screen. Hi, Naraya, good to see you.
Hello, Gabriel.
Hiya. Just running through that. For technical issues, if there's any technical issues, I mean, that's for non-candidates or moderator specific, please direct them to Omoshola Adenubi. I believe that will be at the CUALA Secretariat. Yeah, that icon, that person, please send them to that page. Today is day one of 4 in a series of live virtual events to cover 7 CUALA officers up for election. This Know Your Candidates event is an opportunity to meet our candidates running for office, get to know them better, and start making our voting choices. Regarding voters registration, please, all alumni should remember to obtain and register their matric numbers ASAP. It's part of voting, and you need to actually do that before voting day. So please, I'm sure in the chat box, there will be some information passed about that. It's pretty much like an INEC registration. Please don't forget to do that. And now, for the officers we are here to hear from, you can make some noise, you can get ready. The officers up for election today are, I believe, Vice President Business. We're gonna have Adebayo Ajayi and Remi Ademiju. We're going to have careers, Adebayo Ajayi and Yemisola Showumi. We're going to have corporate communications, Sheyi Ayinla, and for welfare, Ogochukwu Mba. And tonight's KYC will follow the same order. We're going to have 3 rounds tonight, so we're just going to do it in stages. At this point, I think it's useful to introduce my co-host, Naraya. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. It's so exciting to be back here, talking to everyone from the CU community, alumni community. Gabriel, it's good to do this again with you and the rest of the crew, Omoshola and every other person working behind the scenes. As we already know, I'm not going to say too much because for me today, I'm just going to wear the cap of the person asking a lot of questions, so more of the chief whip. But we're looking forward to seeing your questions, your engagement as you hear from the panelists and the candidates today. And we hope that you can also send in your questions, so we'll be able to take them at the end of the questions that we have curated for them. But the goal for the conversation today is for you to learn about the candidates, understand and hear about their manifesto, and give you an opportunity to think about what you care about and to know if those are being addressed. If not, how you can, position questions that can get them to ask those questions more. As usual, I'm going to be very strict as well in time. I know some of my friends or peers or people I've worked with in the past or were in the same set or so are also here on the hot seat. So give us that permission to just be fair today and not be very smiley and chatty over everything, because the goal is that we want to give a fair hearing to every candidate that we have here today. Gabriel, I'll hand over to you if there's nothing else, but I know we should be welcoming in our electoral committee chairman who would kick us off. We've had the house rules already set, and maybe we can revisit these. We're going to have different rounds of the conversation today. So for some of the roles that we're going to discuss today, some of them there are opposing candidates and some there are not. So we're going to have like the first two that are, two people vying for a certain position. And then for the other two rounds will be individual candidates, but please make it engaging for us and ask your questions. And on that note, it's time to welcome Ifedubem Ezike, who is from the 2022 set and is the electoral committee chairman, to address the crew.
All right, good evening, everyone. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Trust we had a great day and a great week. All right, so my name is Ifedubem Ezike, graduated 2022 set, and I'm privileged to be the chairman of the electoral committee. So since this committee was formed since May 4th, 2023, that's like sometime in the second quarter of this year, a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes. All right, the committee was formed, then up to point where we brought out time for nominations, for you to nominate people you want to be in office, and also yourself if you want to be in office. So many people were nominated, and from the nominations, we did a screening exercise on all quarters, and then we selected those who passed the screening stage. And from the screening stage, we sent out mails saying you've been selected to run for office. Some people accepted, some people did not accept. Some people did not accept their nominations. Going on, we got to know all the candidates. We had a meeting with them. Even still along the line, a few people had to decline their nominations, even as they had accepted due to personal reasons known to them, and which we understand those reasons they have given us. And now we know our candidates, people are campaigning. But one of the reasons why we are here is because we want to know these candidates more. It's one thing for me to see a flyer. It's also one thing for me to know. It's also one thing for me to know who you are as a person. It's one thing for me to know what you want to do for us as a community. Either your VP business, VP career. It's one thing for me to know what your plan is for CUALA. So that's why we are here today. Just basically to know what you have for us when you get into office, for the tenure you'll be in office. And then for you to answer questions which members of your audience, fellow Eagles, will have for you. So it's going to be like our host said and the chief whip said, it's not going to be a familiar session like that, but it's going to be kind of a little bit strict and all. But I guess everybody will be cool and fine. So to our candidates, I say best of luck to everyone, and also have a lovely session.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabriel. So sorry, thank you. If I need to say to you, if it have been, and I know that I'm hoping that we can see your face at some point as well. So please, maybe towards the end, unmute so we can also put a face to the name of our electoral committee chairman if, let's say, for some reason, some people are not following the social media platform. All right. I see our candidates are ready. Really excited for what everyone has here today. And I guess one question I'll have just for us to break the ice today. We're going to have rapid fire questions over time, but this one is not going to be exactly how you know it. So you're going to tell us, I see the mic, by the way. Hi, Ibukolua, and hi, Remy. We're going to see a different type of question now. So yes, you're not prepared for this one. So I'm going to ask you, when you woke up this morning, walk me through the activities of your day. Please, things that are safe for work, right? Focus on that. So either of you take the mic and just unmute yourself and answer.
Right. That's an interesting question. Well, when I woke up this morning, first we said our morning prayers, myself and my wife, and then caught up on social media, made sure that I was chatting to folks that had replied me or sent me a message. Then I had a phone call with a friend for an hour, then logged into work, did a bit of work, and I stepped out to pay my rent and just go back in.
Okay. What happened? Where's the food part?
Oh.
Are you fasting?
No. Funny, okay, well, I think I skipped up two things. I recorded a video, 2 videos, then had breakfast, then went to pay my rent, and then came back.
Okay. Look with the rent. Remy, let's go.
Yeah, interesting. I woke up with like a headache or something like that. I can't remember. Yes, but I had a call, yeah, and I went to see a friend in the morning. I walked from there, and then I went to a friend's dad at Eagle as well. His dad passed away last year, so there will be 1 year remembrance. So I had to go for that, and that took some time. Yeah, I ate there, and I came back and prepared for this. And yeah.
This is where you tell us what you ate. So what did you have?
I ate amala.
Wow.
I remember. They were
About
like, "Do you want rice?" I like amala, please. Then there was a wedu bakery and 3 old up just there.
Okay. All right. What did you have, Ibukolua?
well, pancakes and sausage.
Oh, fancy. All right, I see. Extremes, guys. So if you're going to judge your candidate based on what they eat, if you're a team, fancy food, you know what side to pick. I'm not going to tell you which of them is fancy. Okay. All right. So I think we can kick off for the sake of time because we have a huge lineup as well. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes each to talk about your manifesto and just introduce yourself generally and talk about your manifesto, why you're running for this position, and what you hope to bring. But there are going to be other questions as well that will deeper into your intentions and your plans. So just use your 3 minutes to introduce yourself and pitch yourself. Let's go. Remy, let's start with you. You need some mute.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Good evening, everyone from all over the world. Hello, Idris. It's good to be here again. And hello to my fellow Ibukun running this race with me. Yeah. So I count this as a great privilege, to be honest. Yeah, because it's an opportunity of service. Yeah. And I could have been serving anywhere else in the alumni, but I've chosen business for a few reasons, which I would love to share with us now. Yeah. First is I've had a deep passion for business, but not just business from a point of making money, no, but from a point of creating a system a system and a structure that can enable other people try out their business potential, for a chance at succeeding at it. Yeah. I've had some experiences trying this out in various organizations, such as the African Women Power Network, such as the SME 100 Africa, and also the Be the Change Africa program that holds around the continent. But there's no better place, to try and do something than home. And for me, CUALA is home. I stepped into this position about a year ago, yeah, and it was a decision that was very intentional for me. And over the past 1 year, the team has tried to create value for the alumni. And that connects to why I'm running again. Yeah. And the more I've connected with Eagles around the world, I realized that there's no way we can create value until we are more connected. And I've tried to connect different Eagles at different points in time. And I've seen the value that has come out of it from a business point of view. Now it's time to create a system whereby we can connect more entrepreneurs together. And that should actually lead to fostering progress, fostering prosperity in these businesses. And we're going to do that by doing 3 things. First is to create the platforms for this connection to happen, both online and offline. Secondly is to create the partnership, which will be very needed to create more financial value. And thirdly is to help businesses become performing, yeah, at least within the next 2 years. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Remy. Over to you, Bukunlua. Please, if you can introduce yourself and also share your manifesto in 3 minutes. The timer is on the screen, by the way, in case you need something to keep you honest.
Yeah, gotcha. Hello, everyone. Hello, Eagles. My name is Bukunlua Adebayo, or IBK. I am an international business consultant, Scrum Master, Scrum Product Owner. I've worked over the last 10 years in different organizations across 6 different countries. Some of those organizations include Chevron, Thomson Reuters, and much more recently, currently I work at the Royal Bank of Canada. In the course of my career, I've supported all the organizations I've worked in to deliver a total of about $150 million in value, either in cost saved or actual bottom lines as money made by the organizations. And what do I do? My work is quite simple. I use technology to improve how businesses operate, whether it's efficiency, to save costs, or to improve how the returns, or to reduce time spent, to improve customer experience, to improve user experience. And I do this in different ways, using innovative strategies like design thinking, empathy research, and business consulting to effectively make sure that whatever these organizations are doing, they're able to do it better. I believe in thinking big, in making things simple, and in moving fast. And that's why I also leverage simple solutions to solve complex problems. I don't believe that you need a complex solution to solve a complex problem. And you'll be hearing more about all of these ideologies as we go forward in the program. The manifesto is simple, and that is to unlock opportunities and build futures. And to do this, I've set 5 objectives that can be termed the 5 E's agenda, which is to empower, to elevate, to engage, to enhance, and to enable. And the idea at the end of the day, if I'm successful, is that we would have successfully innovated with the association, we would have informed, and would have industrialized the association. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love this set of VPs. You're really keeping to time. Let's see how you do throughout the end of the day. So I see that you're sparing some seconds for us, which is great. So let's build up on this, and going back to you, Bukun. I can ask you to drill down on this a bit more. I know I give you a few minutes to talk about introducing yourself and your manifesto, and you touched on this very briefly, but why are you exactly running for this office, and what makes you best suited for this role?
Yeah, I hope I get my 1.5 minutes back.
You can take it.
Right. Anyway, I've been an Eagle for about 11 years now. I graduated in 2012, and the only time I've had an interaction with the association, besides my the opportunities I took to volunteer early in my in graduation years. In terms of the benefits I've gotten from the association is the ease of, securing my transcripts and getting my certificate. I think I remember I had to pay my dues to get my certificate, and every time I asked myself, I wanted to pay my dues, I always asked myself that question: why am I paying my dues? And I started to really learn and realize that this was the same feeling across a good number of Eagles I had interacted with over the years. A lot of Eagles cannot really point to a reason why or the kind of value that they want to get from the association. And for me as an entrepreneur or as a businessman, I believe that there's many more opportunities that the association can offer. I discussing with my dad, when I was going to run, he asked me now, he said, that why would you expect anything from your association? That you should really be giving back to your association. And that is correct. Everyone should focus on giving back to the association. But the reality is that as a community, I believe that there's much more that we can do for ourselves. There's much more that we can do for each other. And personally, I felt like the reason that I've not been able to get or interact with the association as much as I would have loved to is because there was nothing that I needed in the real sense of it. I was able to go through my career. I was able to run through my business, or all of those things without really coming back to the association. And one particular experience was, I think, would I say the triggering factor for me was that when my first startup, or first technology startup that I ran between 2020 and 2022, I tried to deliver a product to the association, right, for free at the time, and there was just like a lot of I'm not sure what it was, whether it was bureaucracy or hindrances, but just simply couldn't go through. And for me, I felt like that's my personal experience. I don't know if any other person has had the same experience, but I felt like it should be much easier to access the association. It should be much easier to engage the association, even if it's with my product or with another person's product. And so for me, that's why I'm running. I'm running to make the association more accessible. I'm running to make the association more inclusive, to develop and design products that will work for everyone, tailored to everyone and not just a few. Thank you.
So Rami, I can repeat the question to you. Why are you running for this office? You talked about this very briefly. So why are you running for this office, and what makes you best suited for this role?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the timer. All right, thank you for the question. Yeah. For me, the main reason as to my why is actually vision. Yeah, a personal vision and Covenant University vision. By God's grace, my personal vision also aligns with what the university was created and what it created us, and it's still creating other Eagles to become, which is the new generation of leaders. Yeah. One of the key parts of leadership that I want to play is what can be termed or coined entrepreneurial leadership. Yeah. I want to play more in that space because personally, that is the contribution I want to have for building society. I have a background in social entrepreneurship, but I realized that to a very large extent, a business could be termed as one of the best forms of charity because it can allow more people it can create opportunities for more people within the community. And when I connect that to that of Covenant University, creating a new generation of leaders, it strikes me more and more that leadership is almost like in diminishing return. Yeah. And a very crucial part for leadership is in entrepreneurship. Yeah. We need to have more people in society who can generate ideas that have value. And we happen to be in a community whereby the idea of problem solving is so rich. Yeah. And there's no better place for me to spend a lot of time or to start than within the community. I've been opportune to work on different initiatives to strengthen entrepreneurship or to build communities whereby people can thrive in their businesses. And I've realized that the problems are actually similar. Yeah. people need to be in a community whereby they can have access to value, and they can also take advantage of that value to produce results. Yeah. In the last 1 year, we've been able to at least start building that foundation within the alumni. The alumni have always tried to create this business angle, but I'm happy that in the last 1 year we've began to, make that happen, in the sense of, one, adding more people into the community from an entrepreneurial point of view, creating platforms for people to engage, and also creating financial value through partnerships. We know that if we need the financing, we need to partner with a financial agency, and we actually started that as well. I think this is that I've started. It will be good to complete them, at least take them to the next stage. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Like I said, you've been doing really good on time, but if you run out of time, we're going to mute. So excuse what you could consider the rudeness. Just a disclaimer if we get there. I know we have some questions coming in already. We'll take those questions at the end, okay? So we're seeing them, we're curating them, and we'll take them at the end. Okay, so in the next 3 minutes as well, starting from you, Remy. Using your office, what are the top 3 problems you plan to solve for the Eagles if you become the VP business? And also you can tell us how you plan to get them solved.
All right, thank you. Because it's going to focus heavily on the business angle, we cannot shy away from the topic of money. Yeah. The more I interact with Eagles, the more I find out that just like outside the community, also within the community, access to finance is actually a big issue. We started this by having a partnership with Advancedly, thankfully owned by an Eagle as well, and we were able to secure up to $1 million. But it focused more on credit financing. Now, credit financing can only work for specific type of businesses. But we're in a community with diverse types of businesses. So we also need to create opportunities for people who need not just credit financing, but also like debt capital, and particularly even when it comes to like equity-based financing. Yeah, it's important to realize that if we can have this financing internally, it gives us the opportunity to even have patient capital, meaning what you might have outside, people might, when investors invest in you, let me assume that they want their money back in 1 year. With patient capital, you can wait for 3-5 years. If we can have that as a community, that would be one of the first things that we want to do. And how will I be able to go about that? One is through partnerships. We would have to identify the relevant financing partners here. Secondly is, a separate entity would need to be created so that it can be legal and properly registered. Thirdly, is a board would need to be created just to manage that financing and the entire structure. Fourthly is the main thing, which is creating the financial pool. Yeah. I don't want to say how much we can aim to raise at the moment. Yeah, and I think the last will be creating a channel to how people can access this. Yeah. Secondly is a big value add, because through my own personal network within the community, I've been able to connect 2 Eagles together, or more than that, to have exchange of value. But it's not scalable on a personal note. It's only scalable with a system. So I would be creating a platform. I don't mean a technology platform, no. I don't mean I'm creating the opportunity where Eagles in business will be able to connect globally as well. Yeah, that connection can lead to access to knowledge, even in terms of mentorship. That connection can also lead to access to finance, can lead to access to markets as well. Yeah, and the access to market is very, very strong. We tried it last year by doing the shoot a shot event on Instagram, but we need to find another model to make it bigger and better so that more people can be able to bring their products live to other events. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Before you answer, I need to also mention, I see some people are messaging the host and panelists. So if you can change the toggle at the bottom, If you're trying to talk to everybody in the room, that's all the participants, you need to change that button, because if not, you'll be sending it to myself or the rest of the panelists, and the rest wouldn't see your comments. So change that, and you can chat with everyone. Okay, over to you, Ibukun. You have the same question. Using your office, what are the top 3 problems you plan to solve for Eagles if you become a VP for business? And how do you intend to get it solved or get them solved, the 3?
Right. I would speak to the top 3 items on my manifesto, because again, I can't speak to top 3 problems because my approach is a bit different. I'll get to that. Top 3 items on my manifesto. The first is to empower Eagles for mutual growth. And how we're doing this is through about 5 critical key results, but I'll focus on one of them, one of which is the directory, the Eagles in Business directory. My objective will be to optimize that directory to not just be a yellow page style directory, which it is today, to become an artificial intelligence powered engine that would effectively be a marketplace for business for Eagles, not just for Eagles, but also a revenue generator for the association. If we open up the platform to people outside, of course, that presents a ready market of 20,000 Eagles who are willing to buy their products. Of course, external folks will pay to use or advertise on our platform. But beyond that, the platform will not only be a matching platform to connect businesses to customers, whether it's B2B customers or B2C customers. It will also be a platform where we are going to introduce a fundraising opportunities, right? Providing access to grants, providing access to equity or debt opportunities through the platform. Also, even opening up opportunities for people to do peer-to-peer lending within the platform. Eagles lending to Eagles, Eagles investing in Eagles businesses, Eagles opening up opportunities for other Eagles to buy equity in their companies. That's the first. The second will be to elevate the services of the secretariat. Right now, I feel like secretariat services can be better. I don't know how yet, but I believe that if we use empathy research and actually survey all of the Eagles who have in the past leverage one or a couple of services from the secretariat, as well as just survey Eagles generally to understand what they expect from their alumni secretariat, we're going to be able to improve on the existing programs or the existing services and introduce new ones that will be much more specific or much more tailored to people at the different phases of their lives. At the initial phase of my life, when I was trying to go into uni or going to do my master's, I needed transcript, I needed my certificate. The services provided for that, but there's more that the alumni secretariat can be doing for Eagles, and we're going to optimize those services or elevate those services to do that. And then finally, we're going to be engaging members through high return, high value initiatives. And specifically, what does that look like? We can partner with platforms like Owner, like Stripe Atlas, that can help us access some perks like Microsoft credits, Amazon credits, things that would actually interest Eagles in Tech to participate in.
Sorry about that, Ibukun. So please, let's try to wrap up before then, but like I said, the rules are the rules. Okay, so thank you for that. What programs being run in the office are you looking to continue or stop? Ibukun, I'll start with you because I know Remy has been in the position, but for you, you're going to be considering this role, from afresh, right? You haven't applied the position. So what programs being run in the office are you looking to continue, and which ones are you looking to stop, and what's your reason?
Like I said, I am a bit wary of, kind of projecting into the future to say, oh, this is what I'll stop. But I can speak to what I would improve on at the moment, or at least I improve the delivery of on. One major thing I'm looking at doing is optimizing how we are currently raising the 100 million Naira endowment fund, how we're, talking about it, how we're raising it. Personally, I found out about it because I was doing personal research as I was preparing to run for this office. a lot of people I've spoken to as well don't know about it, right? And so, like I said, we're going to improve how we're talking about it. We're going to talk about it more. But beyond that, we're going to introduce programs that would actually contribute to that fund. And what do I mean? So one program that I'm thinking about is, or I'm looking to start, is something called a business clinic, right? Where Eagles would donate their time. Eagles who are, for example, myself, I'm a business consultant. I'll donate some of my billable hours to the organization. Now, that billable hours is already set aside for the fund. So I've effectively donated my time to the fund. Now, another Eagle who needs consulting and would rather not pay $20,000, $30,000 to, the big consulting companies can bring that money to the association and put that money in the endowment fund, pay the association for the time that has already been donated by Eagles to the fund. Now, they get the Eagles who need consulting or who need some form of transformation service, who get those transformation. And it's beyond consulting. There are other kind of services that they can donate to the to the association, right? And when other people who need those services take advantage of those services, they pay for those services, but the money they are paying is going to the endowment fund. We would have effectively improved the potential of meeting our goals for the endowment fund.
All right, thank you for the diligence and the passion in responding as well, considering that you were muted before. Remy, let's go to you with that same question. You've been in the office for 1 year, and particularly this position, you were on this other side of the bench last 2 years actually, but where you were one of the moderators, of course, and this time you're in the office. So reviewing your own programs, what do you intend to stop and what do you intend to continue? Timer, please.
Yeah, timer, please. All right, thank you. So I don't think there's that there are things that will stop, but it's more continue to improve them. Yeah, because we didn't want to do a lot of things at the same time, because we are still learning, so we don't want to rush to go. Yeah, and we've learned quite a few things. Yeah. One of the things that I'm going to improve on, will continue and to improve on is, I think. So we tried out the Eagles in Business Connect in Abuja. Yeah. And one of the reasons why we did it in Abuja is, to move out of Lagos and do something. Yeah. And we went to Abuja and we had this event. I was surprised about the turnout. There were about 50 Eagle entrepreneurs who turned up. Interestingly, non-Eagles also came and they're trying to pitch their products. Yeah. But it was a good day and the interaction was intense. Like they literally had to come and, Eagles, please, it's time to go. We've closed gates, because the connection was strong. Yeah. I think we need more of that. Thankfully, we're going to have the one in Lagos this September. I've gone around Lagos between island and mainland to look for venues. I think we've kind of like landed on the venue now, and we are expecting at minimum 100 people. Yeah. 100 Eagles coming together to interact, to discuss, to share, and to connect on value is always very strong. I think we need to have that more. It's not designed to be a big event. Having multiple smaller events, even holding the same week. Yeah, one in London, one in somewhere in the US, and in different chapters, connect with chapter to have this event. Secondly, which I think is very, very important, we try to do some to promote Eagles' own businesses. Yeah, we had what we call the road shows and things like that. And we need to do more of that. We need to create some form of digital visibility for Eagle brand, because it helps their brand equity. It also gives them access to potential customers. If the alumni platform talks about your business, and not just from a post point of view, like actually markets your business for you, that's going to be very, very strong. Yeah. So we're going to try that. There's actually a team already in place, yeah, working on blogging content, blogging platforms, creating the content strategy. we've not just had the time to implement it. And I'm hoping that, if given the opportunity, we can move ahead to implement it. And last but not the least, which I've already mentioned before, is we need to create a very strong financial institution. We cannot grow businesses without money. We need to do that.
Awesome. Who doesn't like the thought of money? I see a lot of questions around the money and, how both of you or either of you is able to help us get to 100 million fund. There are also questions around that, but keep the questions coming, everyone. We're seeing the questions and we're going to take a few of them shortly. So Remy, so again, this is another tenure, or I would say another like a full tenure for you. Describe what success looks like for you at the end of tenure if you do win this election, if you're re-elected, or if you do occupy, because the other one was an election. But what does a success look like for you on this personal driven election that you're running?
Yeah, what success looks like for me. Yeah. Success for me is that, one, eagles who have questions can have access to answers. When I was in Abuja, an eagle was asking for some financial investments. Yeah. And one of my first questions was, can I see the business plan? But he didn't have a business plan. And I was actually surprised that he did not have a business plan. When I got back to Lagos, he messaged me asking about a template. And it occurred to me that, we can actually create a resource platform designed by eagles, yeah, whereby anybody who is trying to do any business related activity, there can be a repository, yeah, and you can go there, the business questions that you have, you can go there and you can find them. Yeah, so success for me would be eagles in business who have questions would have access to answers. I met another eagle who has a business, not just in Nigeria, but internationally as well. I met her at an event, and she told me that the only reason why she came for this event is because she's trying to raise funds. Yeah. And she has lots of questions. Abinat already expanded outside Nigeria into the Middle East. Yeah. But there were questions. Yeah. So how we can do that? Yeah, so that people are not living in ignorance, but they have access to the knowledge. Yeah. Secondly is that eagles are not alone. Yeah. I've seen the power of community. And when people are together, in fact, interestingly, when we were in Abuja after the event, a couple of eagles in business gathered together in an eagles office to have an intimate conversation about their business challenges. Yeah. And we actually prayed at the end. And I'm looking forward to the results of that prayer. Yeah. So if more eagles have access, have connections, yeah, connection is a very, very powerful thing. We cannot have an alumni of well-connected people, but there's no access to them. Yeah. So if eagles in business who need access, yeah, to other people through the platform that we can create, through the opportunity of interaction that we can create, that would be awesome. And last but not the least, so we're currently working on an eagles in business report. It's not an easy report to do because we're trying to gather the data. We don't even know what the numbers will tell us. But I'm praying and I'm hoping that what success will be for me is that whatever the numbers say right now, by 2025, there's at least a 10x in both their revenue and their overall business growth. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we also want to highlight that we have the Q&A feature. For those that have questions to ask, we're taking this from the comments, but it would be easier if you're able to put them into the Q&A feature. You can copy what you pasted already and add that would be great. So we don't miss any question. Okay, so over to you, Ibuku. Describe what success looks like for you at the end of your tenure if you do win this election.
Yeah, definition of done, like I like to call it, it's three things for me. The first is that we would have innovated. Is that everything that we would have done would have been done in an innovative manner. Meaning, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. Everything that we would have done would have been done in an innovative manner. I mean, we would have used technology or strategic approaches to deliver all of our programs. Second is that we would have informed.
one critical approach that I looking to bring into the business directorate is the use of design thinking in every program that we do, meaning that we are designing programs for the people who are going to use the programs, not designing programs that we think that people need or that people want. So we're collecting data from people and using data to drive the decisions that we are making on each program that we are putting together. And that would effectively lead to the third definition of done for me, which is to have industrialized the association. Now, I hear a lot about programs, but those programs are really tailored to people at a particular place in their life or people in a particular location in Lagos, in Abuja. But I had an Eagle recently ask me a question. Now, what about the Eagles in the UK or the Eagles in China? I went to Bangkok, for example. What could the association have done for me in Bangkok, in Thailand, right? And so for me, the objective would be at the end of the day that we would have tailored every program to attend or answer to every Eagle at every point of their life, whether they are at the start of their careers or they are in the middle of their careers, or they are looking to scale their careers to another country, or they are looking to transition their business from Lagos to Accra, or they are looking to register their business, a Lagos business looking to expand into the UK or into the US. What would we have done to support those businesses or those Eagles? That is what I describe as to industrialize the association, to make sure that the association is not just answering questions for a few, but answering questions for all. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. There's a last question from my end, and then we can take some of the questions that people submitted as we were discussing live. So, how would we hold you accountable to your campaign promises? We've been promised many things, right, over the years. Some have come through, some we're still waiting. But so the question for you, starting from you, is how would we hold you accountable? How should we hold you accountable for your campaign promises?
I've already set the report card for my campaign. My manifesto is effectively in itself a report card. It is an objective and key results manifesto, meaning these are the objectives I look to achieve, and these are the key results. So every Eagle at any point in time can ask me, IBK, how are you doing on these key results? And the way I would run the directorate is that every single key result will have a progress metric. Each of them will have progress metrics, right? And at the end of the day, you'll see my report, and it will be a bar for each key result to show you the progress that we're making on every key result. So for me, I'm designing, or I'm running with the details of what I expect Eagles to measure me on, what I expect Eagles to grade me with. My report card is there, my manifesto is there. It's a report card that you can effectively look at. So have you done this? Done. Have you done this? Done. Have you not done this? We've not done this. And so throughout my tenure, of course, we'll be running, sharing regular reports, monthly reports by God's grace, on our progress with every program. The delivery of my manifesto, it will be broken down into, and if I do win, I'm going to share that plan. It's already broken down into the first 90 days, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, and the rest of the 3 months left in the tenure will be to consolidate on what we have done and to prepare to hand over the office to the next candidate or the next VP of business. Thank you.
Thank you. Remy, could you please take this in?
Yeah. All right, thank you. So, okay, waiting for the timer.
Do you need me to repeat it?
No, I think I got the question.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So it's on accountability, very important. Yeah. And I think I will just maybe share a bit as to what I've started and how I'm going to improve on it. Yeah. So what I had started was everything that needed to be done was, and is currently being measured on a scorecard. Yeah. And it basically an Excel, yeah, that measures actual versus targets. Yeah. And then for each of the team in delivering that, so I created teams, yeah, and I report to them as to where we are, what progress that we've made. Yeah. Ideally, that was meant to be done at least every quarter. Yeah, but it came in at different intervals. Now, the best way to improve on that now is that scorecard should be made public to all, at least all of the team members. Yeah. And on a quarterly basis, a report, a business, a business directorate, not a business report, a business directorate report will be done on a quarterly basis and communicated to all people. Yeah. Whereby they see what we've achieved in the last 3 months, how far we are from our targets, yeah, and big wins, big lows as well. Yeah. Why the members would have direct access to the live reporting, because they are operational. Right now, there are about 5 teams working in the directorate. There's a team working on the reports, headed by Daniel. There's a team working on the Eagles in Business, Abuja, which is closed. There's the one working on the one for Lagos. Yeah. There's a team working on the content platform, yeah, whereby we can start to feature more Eagles around the world. Yeah. And we are drawing up a list of Eagles in different countries. Yeah. And there's a team working on that. So there are about 5 teams, and they will have access to the live one. And then on a quarterly basis, a business director's report will be shared. Secondly is communication. Yeah. So we intend to have some form of like newsletter, yeah, that can keep the community, primarily those in business, through the business directorate platform, informed as to what progress that we are making. Yeah. And then last but not the least is the alumni members as well will have responsibility to play by also following up. Yeah. Eagles reach out to me. I have calls with them. Many of them I've not met, some from the UK, some from Canada, from Nigeria, and they want to know what's up. Yeah. So that communication line will be open. I'm happy that they are following up so that they can keep us accountable. Keep that up now.
Thank you, Remy. Right on time. Okay, so we have some curated questions. I'm going to start asking some of those. Some of them are particularly directed to candidates. If you have anyone that is directed to any candidate, please share. But if not, I will also try to throw it to both candidates at the same time. But I'd like that the questions that do come in also, for everyone that's directed to one candidate, I'd like to see another directed to another as well. So please feel free to ask questions for both of them. Okay, so for the next few minutes, I think we'll do about 10 minutes for this to ask those questions. Okay. All right. So actually, for these questions that we have now, it's a shorter time frame. You have 1 minute to attend to them. If there's any need, maybe we can revisit, but you just have 1 minute to attend to the questions. Okay. VPs? Yeah. All right. So Ibukun, this one is for you. If Ibukun still has a minute, can he tell us why he's choosing to serve in business and not another portfolio? Example, flight lead. If his reason is to give alumni a reason to engage with the alumni.
Right. I saw that question earlier and I actually smiled at it. It's an interesting question because somebody else had asked me that question. For me, I believe that the business directorate is very critical because that's the engine room, in my own opinion, of the association, in the sense that is where we develop programs that can be outgoing programs, not incoming programs, that can be value-adding programs, not just to the association, but to the members, right? For example, as an eagle in business myself, if I know of an opportunity within the association that I can leverage on, that comes with being engaged, right? And when I say engaged, it comes up in different ways. One of those ways is that I pay my dues, or I'm actually a financial member of the association. That's the only way I can access that or that perk, because it's not a service. It's not a transcript or it's a certificate, right? It's not your right. It's really just a service, right? For me, that's the way that I see that we can get more people interested. If the Eagles see that they can actually get monetary value.
Sorry about that. The 1 minute is too short, right? I know. Hopefully you can add something to it in another question that you might have. But we are running short of time, so we have to do this. Okay, so Remy, the question is, and I don't know if everyone can see it here. If each candidate could choose just one big idea to implement during their tenure. So everyone has had the big dreams. You have like, 5 E's and you have a lot of, ideas that you're putting together. But if you could choose just one thing that people can hold you responsible for in this tenure, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, thank you for the question. The more I think about it, the only thing that comes to my mind is something that connects to financial, and that is creating a venture fund. Yeah. Learning from the experience we actually did the partnership with Advancedly as a pilot version before we launched something major. Yeah. The venture fund will give us ability to, one, connect more with people and understand what journey they are in their process of being an entrepreneur. Secondly, it will make us know exactly what challenge that they're having for us to solve it. And thirdly, to help us to understand how much they need financially and can inject that cash into them. Yeah. And if that money is coming directly from Eagles to fund to invest in Eagles, make it all the more beautiful.
Thank you. All right, so there's another question here. All Eagles' lives matter. That's how I'll frame this question before I read it. So there's a question here. What are your plans for young Eagles fresh out of CU and those fresh out of the NYSC camp? Remy, let's do 1 minute with you, and then we ask you as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. To be honest, that was something that I hoped I would have been able to do in the last 1 year, but there wasn't enough time, to be honest. I actually met with the student council chairman. Yeah, I went to CUALA and I was there and I met with him. Yeah. Now, the interesting in CU, they now have a hub called Hebron Startup Lab, HSL. Yeah. And I've been engaging with them. Even before I was the VP business, I've been engaging with them to learn about what the purpose is. Then I met with the student council chairman and we kind of created a program. Yeah. Now, the goal is simple, particularly for those in their final year, because they're about to graduate. How can we begin to help them transition from student life to like the business world? Yeah. We were not able to execute that, but that is something I would want to execute this time around. Yeah. Help the final year student transition and work with Hebron Startup Lab to grow businesses out of school.
Okay. And Ibuko, please take the same question. What are your plans for young Eagles fresh out of school and those out of NYSC camp?
Right. So for me, I believe in like I said, thinking big, making it simple and moving fast. And for young Eagles, that's the same approach we'll be taking with them. Fresh out of school, as an Eagle myself, when I first graduated, I had brilliant ideas, many ideas. I'll be adopting something similar to what MEST does. That's the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Science and Technology in Accra. What they do is that they put together people who want to start businesses and don't really know what they want to do, bring them together and work with them, run them through a program over a period of time, usually a year immersed. Well, of course, we can make it lesser time, but effectively building like an accelerator for Eagles who want to do business, young Eagles who want to get into business, and build an accelerator through the business directory that can help them to start their businesses and launch their businesses.
Thank you so much, Ibuko. Okay, so I just wanted to say something to really commend Ife Dubim for actually being the electoral committee chairman, particularly because I understand he was from the 2022 set. So I really actually want to appreciate you for stepping up to this position as well, considering that you just left school last year. Thank you. And I think that's also a way to encourage whoever is asking the question about NYSC, people that are coming out of NYSC camps and people that are just leaving school, just to tell you that there's still a place for you in the CUALA body. All right, so let's take this question. This other one, I think we'll wrap up with it just so we can move on to the next as well. We're going to take a break shortly as well. So an alumni stops you, an alumni, you don't know, an ego, stops you during your shopping one day somewhere. And then the person raises their voice, unhappy about a recent CU situation. Now, this is different. Like, it's not exactly your role, right? We just want to get to know you a bit more as we wrap up. How would you respond to this? So I'm going to you, Ibuku. So say you meet somebody, alumni or Ego A, that's the Ego's name, and the person meets you and saying, Ibuku, I'm really frustrated. I don't like this thing I'm hearing about CU or what's happening in CU. How would you respond to it?
Okay. That's an interesting one. I would use a objection handling approach that I know, which is the feel felt found approach, which is to first empathize with the person, which is I feel what you're going through. Understand, then take the felt, which is this is how we have handled situations like this in the past, and this is what we have found from taking this approach. Of course, yes, I believe that I understand, or I believe that the association has a university relations directorate that will effectively be able to communicate that person's disagreements to the university, and so we will definitely leverage that. But of course, I'll explain that to the person to make them understand that we understand where they're coming from. We have this issue within our crosshairs, and we have a methodology to which we approach issues such as this.
Thank you, Remy. Over to you.
Okay. Yeah. I think the first thing I would do is to try and understand what the problem is. Yeah. The reason is from that understanding, it will most likely lead to me solving the problem. Yeah. But in most cases, it might not be. Yeah. I would have to direct the person to where the solution is. Because what people come to realize is recently an ego reached out to me that I'm trying to find some information. I'm like, go on the website, it's there. Yeah. So there are many challenges that have already been thought of, and the alumni have already tried to create those solutions. Yeah. So I can direct them to the right answer. But in cases whereby that is not really like the solution to the problem, yeah, or it is really my emotional one, yeah, or the solution does not exist, yeah, I would have to empathize with them and make them understand that, show them track record of things that we're already trying to solve, and how they're getting to that point of solving that specific problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Remy and IBK. I love the energy, and everyone is saying the same thing in the comments section. Thank you for taking our heated questions and, being gentlemen and answering those questions. I particularly want to read out the comments from the electoral committee chairman, who for some reason is not able to send this to everyone. But in response to the comments that we shared, he said, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to serve. So just giving you your flowers back, and letting people know that you appreciate the comments as well and all the healings that you're getting from the chat. All right, so we're going to move on to other candidates right now. Thank you for staying on the hot seat. I know it's not easy. And I will ask people to grab water because I see some people saying they're thirsty. I have water here. So please grab it. We still have like 3 more rounds to go. And hopefully we're able to get to this. So there are more questions on the Q&A. Candidates, if you're able to take those, offline, please do. But if not, for those that have the question, please, candidates, make it provide a way for people to reach out to you with questions they have as well, because it's also your duty to help people understand why you're running or what you're planning to do. And I want to also read one comment here where someone said that it's not easy to meet all the alumni needs or all the egos needs. And I know that, yes, I don't think it's easy, but we can try. So thank you for stepping up to these positions and answering the call, the clarion call from, your fellow mates. Okay, so over to you, Gabriel, as we transition to the next round.
Thank you so much, Remy. Thank you, Ibukun. Thank you, Naraya. That was a brilliant session. I learned a lot. It moved quite quickly. I did enjoy that. Thank you guys for sharing so openly and so passionately. We're gonna take a break now. I think it will last just about 3 minutes. It's gonna be a quick one. Next round is going to be for VP careers. We're gonna have Adebayo Ajayi and Gbemisola Showumi. So you guys get ready. Everyone, please take a break, 3 minutes. If you need to go to the bathroom, get some water, please go ahead and do that. Let's take a break. Thank you very much. CUALA, we had a DJ last elections. I don't know if that's still the case, but either ways, there we go.
Came down from your throne of grace to save the ones you made. How great thou art. Wrapped in your warm embrace, your love can never fail. How great thou art. 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 Eyes haven't seen or heard great things the Lord will do for those who love his name. I don't know where I will be if not for God my King. I am still here by his grace. How great thou art. How great thou art. Tell me how great thou art. How great thou art. How great thou art. How great thou art. Everybody say great. How great, how great, how great, how great, how great thou art. Great, how great, how great, how great, how great, how great thou art. Solo. Everybody says great, how great, how great, how great, how great, how great thou art. No matter what, I'm gonna sing of how great you are. How great you are. How great you are.
Hello. I believe this is a great time to come back. Hope you're all refreshed. For anyone just joining us, welcome back. This is the 2023 Know Your Candidates CUALA pre-election event. It's one of 4 sessions. Today's the first batch of sessions. We're doing KYC for 4 positions. We just finished for VP Business, very exciting round. Ibukun Adebayo and Remy Ademiju, and we're moving on to VP Careers. So I'd like to ask both candidates to please pop their cameras on so we can have a quick look at them. Hi Adebayo Ajayi, I see you. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna add your pin. And who is next? Bemisola, show me. Bemisola, are you here? Love you to pop your cam on. See you, Bemi. Thank you guys for joining us. Has it been patiently waiting for? It's easier to go first, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. I don't know if it's easier to go first or if it's easier to go second, but it's nice to have you guys here. I'm just gonna run over some things quickly. It's gonna follow a similar format. We're gonna ask you some questions. We really want to get the rest of the alumni to know you. Ask you a couple of questions, get you to talk about what you're hoping to do. So relax. It's about selling yourself, selling the vision you have for the role. No pressure. Just running over a few house rules. It's not a debate. It's not a debate format, so you get the opportunity to express yourself, express your visions. We expect you to use your time well. Keep it clean. Don't interrupt. If you're not speaking, please pop your mic off. And with questions, we've got a Q&A session, and you can also type questions for the moderators to pick up. On that note, I believe I will hand over to Naraya so we can kick this off. Naraya, are you here?
I am.
Perfect.
Yes.
Good luck, guys.
The luck is needed because the seat is really hot, and if you need to grab water, this is the time. But hi, Adebayo, and hi, Wimisola. It's good to have you on the hot seats. That's what they are. So I'll call it that. But I trust you. You're Eagles, and you're more than capable. Good to see that you're running for the VP careers, and I know that career growth is something that's important to people here as well. We have business owners, we have entrepreneurs, and VP business candidates have spoken to us about their plans. So now we want to know, for some of us on the career track, how do you plan to help us grow? How do you plan to get us there? So I'm going to give you, I already mentioned, we're going to give you 3 minutes to each question that I'll be asking. And of course, I'll alternate 2 answers first. You've listened to the other parts, so hopefully you're prepared. If you're on the second, so lucky you, but who knows, the questions might change. But before we get there, let's just know you a bit, right? So what was the last thing? This is a question for you both. What was the last thing you watched on TV? Let me start from you. You're on mute. Could you unmute, please? It's a quick question. What was the last thing you watched on TV?
The last thing I watched on TV, I haven't watched TV in a while. But I think the last thing I watched on TV was Channels News. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a while again. But yes, Channels News, I listen to news a lot. And, so that was, I think, the last thing I watched on TV.
When was that?
Oh, well, I think like 2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago.
What was the highlight of what you watched? I'm getting personal now.
Say that again.
What was the highlight of what you watched? What did you take out of the news? Very personal question. Yes.
It's I mean this unseating this governor in Gabon, this president, sorry, in Gabon, what's his name again? I mean, so that was the highlight for me. I mean, he served like 16 years, and he just didn't want to leave seat. I was comparing that to Nigeria, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, so here, I mean, we can still permit you to run for 8 years, and after which you have to go. Well, I mean, somebody having to take the seat for 16 years, that's a whole lot. So for me, I think, I mean, that was like the highlight for me 2 days ago, and, it was intriguing for me, to be honest.
I mean, it's interesting what's happening in Africa, in the Francophone countries.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing how all of that evolves or tones down, I don't know. But Bayo, so tell us, I see a lot of books behind you. I imagine there's TV somewhere. What was the last thing you watched on TV?
Okay, actually, that was the next Netflix series with my wife yesterday. Sweet Magnolias. Yes, it's a series.
Hey, you have to give us the gist, right? I hear it's interesting. I actually haven't watched it.
Amazing
Good.
movie,
Some-
series.
Mhm.
I can't tell you everything basically. So I think it has about 3 episodes thereabout, or sorry, 3 seasons. I think about 11 episodes each. We are still on season 2, by the way, and just 3 friends living life, going through life issues and life challenges, and overcoming it one after the other. Amazing series. You should watch it. Yeah.
All right, someday maybe. I hear it's good though. Thank you for sharing. All right, I see some people laughing and saying, and President, I see them saying like they are glad they're not running this thing. You never know. Yeah, come back and you get more questions. You don't know what we're going to ask you. But it's exciting to hear like what you're doing behind the scenes when you are not vying for this position and trying to be a VP at CUALA. So we're going to do these questions. As a reminder, my name is Nagari Marcus, and I am I'm from 2010 set, the Grace set. I studied computer science, but today I'm wearing the hat of a chief whip, and I'll be asking you these other questions right now. So let's get to serious business. Okay, so you're going to do a quick introduction, starting from you, Adebayo. I remember we've seen you on the sit before as well, so you'll see me referring to that a few times. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, and also Winnie, if you can introduce yourself and share your manifesto with us. You have 3 minutes to answer this question and all the questions until the rules change. Very well.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Adebayo Ajayi. I graduated from the Department of Chemical Engineering 2013 set. My manifesto is very simple. What I want to do basically is to ensure that alumni get better in their career. Basically building an ecosystem whereby people can advance in their career. And I just want to work on 4 things basically. The first one is career advancement. A lot of people are stuck at a particular level. So we want to ensure that they move from where they are to where they need to be. The second one is career transition. Now the world has changed. I've always said that for people to basically advance in career, their passion, their life skills, their value must fully align with what is trending. Not just everyone running into tech, but look at what is currently trending and ask yourself, what exactly can I do in what is currently going on? And that's career transition. Personally, I studied chemical engineering from Covenant University, did my master's in oil and gas engineering, and guess what? I'm currently a project manager and doing well at that. So I've also been able to transition myself, and I want to help Eagles in a wider forum to transition their career. And apart from just myself, I've helped a lot of Eagles, basically people that have trained from building technology to marketing, mechanical engineer to accounting. My wife personally transferred from biochemistry, and she's currently a chartered accountant at that. So that's the second thing I want to work on. The third thing I want to work on is employability skills. A lot of Eagles are not employed. So we want to ensure that we get our Eagles to where they need to be. And we can do that because I currently run an organization called Success Within International. And guess what? 90% of the leads of this organization are Eagles. And we have moved people from their current state to a future state. So how were we able to do that? We did a solid gap analysis, and we found out what exactly is lacking, what do they need to do, and we're able to fit in the gaps. And 11 years of existence, we have helped close to 1,500 youths in total. And the fourth one I want to work on is career empowerment, especially the final year students and also our NYSC students. Our NYSC graduates currently during NYSC. We want to help them, give them the knowledge, help them, uplift them. I currently moved to Canada last year, and I got a job even before landing in Canada. And now I didn't stop at just getting a job. I helped a lot of Eagles that also want to come to Canada. At least 6 of them also got a job in multinational organization before coming to Canada. That is career empowerment. I've currently worked with the career office for close to 4 years, and I've seen what our solid VP careers have done. And we cannot just drop the ball, but we need to ensure that people move from where they are to where they need to be. And the manifesto is basically summarized with the EASE agenda: employability, career advancement, career switch, and career empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you, Bayo. I see you guys are keeping to time, and you and Lady are keeping to time. So let's see how that goes to the end of the day. I know you have a lot to say. Maybe let's do the same thing as well. So introduce yourself and share your manifesto. Timer, please.
Okay, so good evening, everyone, once again. Thank you for the opportunity and for having me. My name is Bemisola again. I'm a graduate of mass communication, so in 2008 Trinity Set. So I'm an HR, currently an HR consultant, and my experience as a human resource professional cuts across acquiring, managing, and enabling talent across different spectrum and in various industries. I have, of course, I've been a part of CUALA, actively serving for a number of years now, and basically my manifesto is on the growth agenda, which is also to focus on gainful employment programs, recommending industry specific networking events, opportunities to collaborate with organizations, and of course, CUALA owned, should I say, CU owned businesses, bringing real life experiences, which is sharing, encouraging people to share the experience, talent acquisition management programs, as well as a high demand for our graduates through embraced or enhanced brand image. So basically, those are the areas I want to cover, because I have seen as an HR professional and leader that people struggle a lot of, and of course, while we do this, we're going to be, can you hear me, please? Okay, so while we're doing this, we're going to be segmenting, the various spectrums that we have in the workplace. Okay, fresh graduates, mid-level, and then of course, executive level roles. And with that, we're going to be, coming up with, there are different ways. Again, there are different ways and initiatives that we intend to get this great agenda done. I've seen a lot of graduates struggle through schools. They do well with having really great results, but then at the point of interviews, when they get out there, they struggle. They struggle with so many things. What's the next step for me? While they're waiting to get employed, what am I doing? What should I be doing? Where am I going from here? What should I be learning at this point? Some people, they don't even know how to answer interview. There are a lot of issues around, having to prep them, and having, of course, to sell, or to train them on soft skills. So I intend to do this by coming up, or should I say, engaging them with career development opportunities, and of course, coming up with a program, an employability program for fresh graduates, basically, because again, they are the ones that, of course, it cuts across different spectrum, like I mentioned, but most importantly would be fresh graduate for me, and amongst other things. So yes, these are the growth agenda and the focus of my deliverables.
Thank you so much. I talked about both of you being very prompt with time, and this is very important. In the workplace, right, where you're very punctual, you're making sure you're giving back time. Let's see how well you do with the rest of the questions. Okay, so we have questions coming in. As usual, everyone, if you have any question, please use the Q&A feature and add your questions there. I also see people are messaging the hosts and panelists versus the everyone. So I know you really want to engage and we would love you to engage. That's for the people listening in. So please make sure you change that toggle to everyone so everyone can see your comments, right? So change that. But if not, if you're having difficulties, one of us encountered that and the person rejoined, so you can just end your webinar and join again, so you can have the everyone option to message everyone, okay? Great, thank you so much. So Remy, your next question would be this. Why are you running for this office? You've talked about that, you've given us the people. We want to give you a little more time to actually explain yourself, maybe to add to what you already said. Why are you running for this office and what makes you best suited for this role? So this is us just adding to your time that we gave you for the manifesto. 3 minutes, please.
Okay, so I'm all about a life of impact, to be honest. I'm very passionate about helping people become better versions of themselves by being deliberate and intentional about learning life skills. But in this context right now, I'll be narrowing down as it pertains to career. Okay, I would like to have graduates learn from real life career experiences and how our graduates actually how they learn from real life experiences and how they journeyed through that from graduation to getting to the pinnacle of their career, and of course so that of course they can be motivated and of course follow suit. They can also have some mentorship programs around that, and also to make our talents CU Talent, we know how much work we do and how much work the alumni has done. So, of course, to make our talents more visible to the employees and employers of choice. I mean, I don't know how many people know that, CUALA is a full-fledged organization. So we also need to be able to position, CUALA as an employer of choice, and also to make our talents more visible, and also to involve lots of alumni. Lots of Eagles participate or collaborate with them such that they know that we're able to sell value to them, basically. So we're selling value here in terms of having to bring them on board, to leverage on their skills within, I'm looking at building a faculty of facilitators, people that are experts in their field. So you can imagine that we have people from different industries, come train us. Train us not just CUALA, or should I say CU business or CUALA owned businesses, but also external organizations. But of course, when we build a database, that allows to give that kind of value, in-house and also externally, it would go a long way. Also, I see that a lot of CUALA members are still not on the platform. We can do this. Again, people gravitate towards value, right? And so we can do this by bringing them on board, and then of course offering some form of, service. So we want to be sure, we want to see more businesses, more career, grow. Of course, more CUALA career grow, through all of this. And of course, I'll be doing this with a lot of, I'll be doing this in collaboration with VP Careers. A lot of our current and either past current leaders, CUALA leaders, alumni leaders, to make this to achieve the objectives. So basically, it's a life of impact for me, where you see people change and become better versions of themselves. Yes, so I can talk more about that later.
Awesome. Right, Bayo, over to you. I'll repeat the question. Why are you running for this office? Just building up on what you already said in your manifesto, and what makes you best suited. Again, building up, because I know you've said quite a lot as well. So this is a time to add on to that.
Thank you. All right. One of my mission statements is basically to help other people around me succeed. And we all know that career is so, so important. If you have the wrong career, you are not going to be a happy person. And I did one analysis and I realized that 70% of mental illness is as a result of career, because probably people don't have a job, or people are not advancing in their career, or people are not just even having a good relationship with their boss. So it's the best thing to actually work on. Having worked in the human capacity development sector for over a decade, I've realized that it takes just a knowledge, basically, to help people advance in their career, irrespective of their aspect, whether it's career transition, whether it's career advancement, whether it's employability skills, and all. For example, it took just one idea to realize why a lot of people are getting rejections from recruiters if you are in Canada and you're Nigerian, for example. And having spread that knowledge across, we even had a program in my organization called Success International in Canada. It was basically career upskilling program for Nigerians in Canada, and we helped a lot of people transition and to also help a lot of people get job. After losing the last CUALA election, I actually worked closely with Anu, who is our current VP Careers, and I see the amazing things she has done as to their careers, and I've seen how hungry Eagles are to actually advance their career. And I've also seen there are a lot of Eagles that probably don't even believe in what CUALA can actually offer them. Now we need to take this to the next level and tell people that we can actually help them and show them that we can actually do the talk. And I would like to end with this. In Success International, we started a program. It's called Sweet Upskilling School. And it's a program designed to help people transition. We realize that when you tell people that don't even have a job to learn something, there's no way they can do this. So what we did was we partnered with quite a lot of facilitators, and we actually we asked you to pay a token of 25,000 naira per for a module, cybersecurity, UI, UX, data analytics, and digital marketing. And we have a lot of people register for such programs at a small token, and people are learning. Now think about it. Imagine we have this for CUALA, and we have about 1,000, 2,000 people register. Now there'll be a two-way cycle for that. One, there's funding for CUALA, and the second point is that people will have their career well positioned. That's a two-way cycle. And that's actually why I'm going for VP careers. I want to show Eagles that we are here to help you. And I'm not going to do this alone, definitely. Two strategies: internal partnership, external partnership. Internal partnership with one, the alumni that are doing their career that can help us. Also, the business directorate as well. We are going to work with them, work with the flight lead, work with the chapter lead, and external stakeholders, partner with external organizations that we can form this MOU with and take our career to the next level. It's very, very possible for all our Eagles to be employed if they want to. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So there's this other question about, like using your office. We've talked about this, the problems you're trying to address. And I think you've alluded to it, both of you, in different ways. What are the top three? And if possible, we can even emphasize on just one problem you plan to solve for the Eagles if you become the VP careers. And can you tell us, like, practically how you plan to solve it? Bio, I think we'll start with.
Okay. The first one is career advancement. Over the years, I've realized that we have done a lot of events, and now we want to move to programs. So when I say events, I want all programs like CV clinic. I know a lot of Eagles devote their time to help people work on their resume and all, but we can move from these events to programs. Let's run full curriculum programs that help people, so that even if you've gotten a job, we'll put you on more like a mentorship program, fully career mentorship, help you until you are really solid at what you do. So that's moving from events to basically programs, running programs. Number two is actually employability skills. There is this shall I say, there's this difference between industry and the academic world. We know Covenant University is doing a lot in that, but it's all of us that we are outside the environment that we know exactly what it takes to actually solve this problem. And that's why I'm more than excited about the flight leads and the chapter leads now. We are going to work with, and again, in Europe, for example, it's called CV. In Canada, it's called resume. So, for example, if you want to apply to a job in Canada and you name it CV, they will throw it away because it has to be called a resume. And also, we are going to work with each of these leads to know exactly what does it take to actually get this job. What does it take for you to actually advance in this job? And we are going to be focusing on grassroots this time around. We are going to run physical career fair programs in different chapters, and I'm not going to do this alone. CU graduates are willing, and we are going to partner with them to ensure that we do that. And the third thing I actually want to do is transition. The world has changed. Like I said, I graduated from Chemical Engineering with a first class. I had my master's in oil and gas engineering with a distinction. But guess what? I'm now a senior manager managing projects in a food and beverage industry. And a lot of people are also like that. They want to transition. And that's one of the things we want to help people with. We have a lot of our Eagles in cybersecurity, in tech, in different programs. And we want to partner with those that have done it and those that need to get there and be that linking bridge to ensure that all our Eagles can move from point A to point B excited and happy. And also with money in our finance pockets at the end of our tenure as well. So these are the problems I want to solve. Thank you.
Awesome. We had a glitch, but we're good, and you're still right on time. So thank you for being flexible there and adapting to the situation. So over to you, Wimi. Using your office, what are top problems? You can take one that you intend to solve for the Eagles, and how do you plan to get that problem or those problems solved? You're on mute. Can you pause the timer, please? You're on mute, Wimi.
Okay, so the first will be around employability, which is to basically engage graduates or existing, to engage graduates basically in industry-led seminars, or should I say engage them in employability and career development programs, basically. Things as simple as, of course, we know that CV writing is already, it's one of the programs that we currently on the current VP career is actually on. So yes, we focus on CV writing, job search, personal branding, as fresh graduates. We're looking at entrepreneurship with focus on, of course, what they intend to do before they get jobs, also, leveraging soft skills, teaching them soft skills needed for the workplace. And of course, how that will be streamlined, into either programs and events. So when we come up with employability programs here, I mean, that's basically like a program that can run like 3 weeks, or depending on the span of, we'll have to partner with some alumni leaders, people who are, leaders in their field, who can come and serve as some as counselors and people, and also trainers, people who are expert in their field, who can teach these courses at almost no cost, because we see a lot of employability programs are actually being charged for. But if we can leverage the skills that we have in-house with our graduates, from our graduates, then that would make a lot of sense, and it would help to reduce cost as much as possible from the fresh graduates, and of course create value for us as a community as well. So I'll also be looking at having recommend industry specific network events, or networking event as the case may be. So of course, with respect to collaborating and partnering with existing alumni, not in the community at the moment, and also external stakeholders. So yes, we're going to have to, so imagine a situation where you have like a platform where you can discuss top industry topics, equip members, with industry tools basically, and trends, telling them what is happening in their sector. So from business to entrepreneurship, it cuts across. So imagine if, people have specific events, or should I say topics, that are being narrowed down to what it is that they currently do. Also is based on sharing relevant associations and industry associations, and groups and communities for them to join. I think it would also help with the learning experience.
Thank you, Wemi. Sorry, the time had to be cut short. Well, you were right on time as well. Okay, so we have some questions here, and I appreciate everyone sending the questions in. And I think I'll take one of those right now, and then we'll see if we need to get through the other ones. So Bayo, this one is for you. What are the structures you want to put in place to sustain these programs that you mentioned, to ensure that they have value adds to the participants?
Yes, so one of the things I plan to do is leverage on the current career directorate members we have, and also open it up to anyone that wants to join us. And once we are done with that, the second thing we plan to do is basically to send out a survey using the flight leads, and also the chapter leads. We're going to send out a survey. Basically, we want to see where Eagles are in terms of their career. Like I said, using the 4 points, those that need to advance in their career, probably they are stuck at a particular level for so long, those that need to transition, those that even need to get their first job. So we are going to carry out a survey, as many as possible. So more like using a poll system to get a feedback from the Eagles to see where they are. Once we have that report, it means that we have a clean state to work with. And then after we roll out some of our plans, and of course we are going to get new ideas and all. Every quarter we are going to be also getting an update. So when I say getting an update, after we've done 1 or 2 of our plans, we're going to try and also send another survey. Okay, let's see where you are. What are the gap analysis? What exactly do you need? So we're also going to use another push system to see where they are and if their needs have been met. So more like you are getting a quarterly update from the career. There's visibility. So we are more like you are seeing a pie chart to say, 90% of Eagles that fill the form, this is where they are. They've not gotten job, and these ones have gotten job. And also, you can even we have CU alumni spotlight. We can have career spotlight alumni to say, okay, someone coming out to share their story. Oh, I didn't get job now after going through this particular program with CUALA. I've gotten job, and this is my testimony. So you know what that does is that helps other Eagles that believe that we can help them to reach out to us as well, join our programs. As soon as also we can help them, other people will come and believe that we can actually do that for them. So these are some of the strategies. One, there will be survey to to collate where people are. And there will be also quarterly reports to give updates on what you have done. And there would be that career spotlight when people come out and share their testimony, or permit to use the word share their testimony to show like their career are like, oh, I was stuck on this particular level. I wanted to become a senior manager. I wanted to become a middle-level manager. I wanted to transition. I've been able to do this. And imagine you have that probably once in 2 weeks or once a month. A lot of people will believe in what CUALA can offer. We can actually get this done. So this is these are some of the structures that I plan to put in place to ensure that we follow what we plan to do, and we are very, very transparent about that. I actually call that the LCR model. Nothing big. One is leadership. We are going to set the vision and we are going to set the ball rolling. Second one is collaboration, like I said, partner with internal and external stakeholders. And the third one is the result. We have to measure our result, because whatever is not monitored cannot be measured, and whatever is not measured cannot be improved upon. So these are some of the structures we plan to put in place to ensure that alumni needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you. So Winnie, you have another question. Again, everyone keep your questions coming. We find them very valuable because it helps us understand how our friends sitting on the hot seat are thinking about these pertinent or these pressing questions that are in our minds. So Winnie, one for you. Can you expand on the initiatives you plan to run to help the Eagles grow? Time up. You're on mute.
Yeah, you said, can you come again with that question, please?
No, Naraya, you're on mute.
Sorry, we can't.
Now I'm on mute. Yes, it happens. Can you expand on the initiatives you plan to run to help Eagles grow? So someone sent this question in for you. So you talked about the initiatives and they're saying that we want to hear more.
Okay, so for the Eagles, I mean, so like I said, we're going to have to segment for employment, we're going to have to segment the spectrum that we're looking at. I mean, mid-level, freshers, mid-levels, and those in the senior. Can you hear me? I mean,
yes.
Sorry, okay, and people, I mean, so segmenting basically the workforce, those that are just graduating and all of that, and of course coming up with engaging events and opportunities that they can learn, more like learning experiences with those events, recommending, should I say, connecting with alumni, to alumni in the professional networks, and of course maximizing learning opportunities, as well as build alumni network database for professionals, so that at least we can reach out to them, and of course they can help mentor this upcoming graduates. Also, on collaborating with and partnering with other organizations is to sell value, and of course to also get funding and grants from training and educational institutes, and of course with from alumni-owned businesses as well. Of course, partnering with employers to ensure that they recruit more of our talents, more of our graduates, within the organization. So we can do this by inviting them for some of their events, some of the events that we create or come up with. We can partner with this organization so that they can see the value that we give, and also we also rendering talent acquisition and management programs to our graduates, or should I say to alumni-owned businesses. Apologies for that. So alumni-owned businesses. So we're rendering HR services to alumni-owned businesses at discounted rates. So things around HR, things that they're dealing with HR-related issues, recruitment trainings, HR advisory services, we can do that for them, but at discounted rates. I mean, so that they can see the value that the alumni, CUALA brings, to the table. Of course, when they see all of that, they want to, join and participate some more, in the community. And also to build, I mentioned this before, building a faculty of alumni facilitators who are experts in their field to train both alumni owned businesses and other organizations within and outside the country. So, I mean, things, people that need help with HR advisory, restructuring their system, and or should I say and then of course focusing on their core competence as a whole, as a business. So there's a lot of value that we can give with respect to leveraging our inner strengths and collective strengths, both as individuals and as a community.
Thank you so much. So we're going to take like 2 more questions and then some more from the audience. You have quite a number of questions that they've come in. So for you, Wimi, what does success look like for you? Now let's project into the future. You are the VP careers today, for example. What does success look like for you at the end of this tenure?
Okay, so I think I'll compartmentalize success in different buckets, right? So I'll be looking at employment, I'll be looking at training, I'll be looking at collaboration, I'll be looking at, so employment with respect to how many people were we able to get jobs for, how many people were we able to get jobs for, so we can assess this quarterly, how many graduates got jobs as a result of being, in the CUALA community, how many people were we able to train, and of course, how many graduates can share or I've learned a lot from other people's stories and experiences as one of the initiatives that, we plan to come up with. So it's more of people sharing experiences and of course, helping people to navigate through life, career challenges and growth process, through their stories. So yes, how many people have been able to, transition from that low state to get into the peak of their career and having to turn that around. And of course, collaborating with not just alumni-owned businesses now, but of course, external organizations. What kind of value, are we giving them? Again, we can also get this by, getting recommendations from these organizations and of course projecting that because it's a selling point for us. So getting recommendations, getting more businesses, from this, getting more businesses from these organizations also will go a long way to doing that. Of course, having people share their experiences around how their careers have changed, how they've grown, how they have learned new things, how they have met industry leaders to help them, with areas that they are battling with, areas that they have struggled with over time and how they've been able to navigate through that. So all of that are the value. And of course, we can also assess this we can assess this on a monthly basis to say, okay, how are we doing? Okay, so these are the KPIs, right? Okay, so what have we done? Have we met our goals? Have we been able to help businesses, alumni-owned businesses, our people, and also external people? Have we been able to help them create some form of value? Have we been able to, focus on their key objectives, as an organization, and their goals? Have they been able to meet their goals? Again, have we been able to train? So we say mid-level. Have we been able to train them to assess or to improve on their current skills? Have we been able to, help build or create employability skills that has generated to, having to make these people get better? That's graduates, fresh graduates. All of these things are things that would mean success for me when people can literally, look back to say, you know what, as a result of these programs that we put up, that CUALA Careers put up, we've been able to get better, and we can even we can face it head on, moving forward. So basically, that's it for me. That's what success looks like.
Okay, so beyond having success somewhere in your name, or your handle, what does success look like for you at the end of the session? Is it just me, or it seems you're frozen? Are you here?
Currently frozen.
Yes.
On mine as well.
Okay, so let's give him a few seconds.
No.
All right. Okay, so we'll give him a few seconds. There are more questions coming in, and I do appreciate your questions. We all do, but we need to wait for Bayo to answer us, and then there's also an accountability question. I'm sure you'll be expecting that. We can let you can start thinking about that while we wait for Bayo.
By the way, well done, Memisola. This is a good opportunity to drink some water, relax while Bayo is in here. If you just want to take a step back, kick your shoes off, take it easy, no pressure. But buyer's not here right now, so you can take
Depends.
it
There's
easy. Okay?
pressure. There is pressure.
Well, it's a real onset, but it's fine. I'm just okay. Was there a question posed at me or
Not yet. But please
okay?
grab water or
No,
something.
not yet.
Right.
I wish I could.
How's everyone doing in the comments section? So many comments. Thank you guys. I see you all. Shinwo, success. When the question was asked, what does success look like? Someone called success responded, it looks like me. That was great. Thank you guys for the comments. We love the energy. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Thank you. Is Bio back?
Yes.
Right.
Welcome back.
Hi, Bio. You are back. All
So
right.
sorry.
No worries at all.
All right. I apologize, everyone. For some reason, my laptop froze and I have to join my phone. I really apologize for that, everyone.
Well, we have remote meetings and we know what it feels like when they can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
So Bayo, we said beyond your name having success within international and all of that, you probably need to that for this. Can you tell us what success would look like for you? So let's project into the future. Let's say you become the VP of careers and you have this you're looking at back at the tenure. How would you define success? What does it look like for you?
Okay, for me, if I can leave the careers office like the way Ajoke left it, and also the way Anu is going to leave it, I think I'll be more than successful because career office in alumni has become tangible. It's a place that when anyone needs help, they can run to and they can get good results. And for me, it's basically checking the results at the end of the day. Like I said, we are going to start with a survey to see where people are in terms of transition, empowerment, employability, and advancement. And at the end of the day, we're able to see tangible results. Even if we can get up to 70% result achieved, it means we have really done well. And secondly, one of the things I also intend to do, and I want to see the result at the end, is that I want to make, currently in the career office directorate, we're about 12 persons there. If I can build that up to 50%, I think that will also be a very good way to measure results. It means that people are now excited to partner with alumni's career office. So that's the second way I intend to measure success. And also, the third way I also want to measure success is looking at the finance part of alumni. At the end of the day, is one alumni. I want to be able to say that this is the particular amount careers office has brought to alumni, and we can use that money. It's because of course we have some people that are not into careers, that they are business owners and they can also benefit us from such fronts. So these are some of the ways in which I want to measure my results at the end of the day. I strongly believe that Covenant University Alumni Career Office is going to go to the next level, and the way we define our success, the success we indeed is going to be like that. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you so much. We have the last question, and I'm going to make this 1 minute each. And that's about accountability. We want to hold you responsible for what you have said. We're really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to taking advantage of, the alumni body for my career growth. So how can we hold you accountable to your campaign promises, Bayo?
Okay. How you can hold me accountable to my campaign promises is very simple, very clear. I know this sounds like cliche, the use agenda. At the end of the day, I owe you 4 reports every year. Just give us 2 months to settle down in our office. 3 months after then, you are going to be getting a report from us. And that report will show very simple, not long story statistics to show you this is what we need to do, this is what we wanted to do, this is what we have done, and you are seeing people's success story as a result of careers. We are going to have a lot of work to do with comms as well, so that we can have this career spotlight, people see it. So you can hold me accountable to that. You're going to see reports, I'm going to see tangible result at the end of the day. One thing is that please, when we send out the first survey, kindly fill it so that you can put us on our toes to help you deliver results. A lot of people are out there that want to help you. So help us by helping you as well. So yes, that's actually how you can hold me accountable to everything I've said and to my manifestos.
God bless you. Thank you. So Wimi, the same question goes to you. Wimi, we want to hold you accountable to your campaign promises. 1 minute. Tell us how we should.
Okay, thank you. So all the initiatives highlighted collaboration, funding, having to come up with career advancement programs, all of that, I believe should have key results areas, okay, that can be benchmarked or that can be reviewed quarterly, like I mentioned earlier, so that we see how we are making progress, where we are, and what we have left to do. And of course, you can, you can hold us accountable. You can hold me accountable, because then there'll be timelines to these things, right? So there'll be timelines to the work, the actual work that we do, breaking down all of these initiatives and strategies that we have in place and running with them. So when do we want to, how long do we, how many organizations do we need to reach? How many people do we need to, have gotten jobs for? How many trainings do we need to do? How many events do we need to have? All of that would boil down to having to, be very accountable, and then it's all clear.
Amazing. All right. So we have 1 minute we have a lot of questions. Let's see how we can get through a few of them really fast. Okay. 1 minute. You don't have to finish your minute. But I'm going to ask these other questions we have here. Maybe let's start with you. So each candidate has talked about segmenting the alumni workforce. Can they clearly tell us the segments and what they plan to do for each segment? 1 minute, please.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to have to streamline them to fresh graduate or early careers. We're going to be looking at mid-level and experienced hires. We're going to be looking at management levels and executive management roles. Okay, so for the fresh graduate, for instance, will be, who are basically maybe clueless, we'll be looking at how they can, how they can improve, or how they can get skills, relevant skills, soft skills that can help them navigate and be competitive in the job market. So we're also looking at providing and engaging them with workshops and seminars, job search strategies, grooming, branding, career coaching, all of this comes to play. For the mid-level, graduates, we're looking at focusing on their career advancements, how they will need to improve and add value in the workplace, how they need to position themselves for promotion, how they need to transition into other industries, if that's the area and the angle that we're looking at. And of course, how to deal with things around politics in the workplace, difficult.
Thank you, Winnie. We get the gist. Okay, so we have another question here, and I think for me, because we have a lot of questions and we have to move on to the next section and the final round, I'm going to take this one because this is very dear to our hearts, considering what has happened since the pandemic, where people lost their jobs. Some companies laid off, if you know about this, drastically last year as well, and this year. So someone actually talked about people not having jobs for 3 years now. So pretty much people are asking, and I will read the two questions and you answer the way you want to answer. But I know you need to answer the question about segmenting bio. So maybe I can give you 1 minute to quickly answer that, but get ready for the next question around unemployment.
Okay, for segmenting, I think I've actually mentioned that a couple of times while speaking earlier on. So one of the things I want to do is I want to see those that want to transition from to different careers to advancement for those that are stuck at their current career level. The third one is employability for those that even want to get their first job as well. And the fourth one is career empowerment. So these are basically final year students and NYSC students. Teach them what it takes, interview preparation, resume review, CV review, and other things. So yes, that's the plan for segmentation.
All right, thank you, Bayo. And so let's talk about this unemployment, right? So the question goes exactly like this, and there's another one, it's a popular one. What steps do you intend to take to support the Eagles who have been jobless, with the goal of enhancing their employability and ultimately assisting them in securing employment? Someone else also asked the same question, just adding, using Nigeria as a case study.
Yes. Thank you so much for that question. I've actually met a couple of friends that were they had the same issue, and I'm just going to tell you some of the things I did and what we're going to do in a bigger forum. The first one is we're going to ask questions. What do you want to do? So a lot of people want to continue with what they were doing before the pandemic hit. Some want to continue. And if we basically know what exactly you want to do, then we're going to have a roadmap. I know all this might sound a bit strategic, but when I say roadmap, it might be that you even need upskilling it might be that you just need to apply for jobs more. For example, relocating to Canada, I was applying to 20 jobs per day for 2 weeks. So if you add that together, that was close to 240 jobs per day. And I had 10 interviews and got 2 jobs. So it might just be that we are okay. The only thing you might need is probably a push to keep applying and all. And probably you might need money to at least money to spend while you get your first job, and then we can refer you to VP welfare office. And that's why I said that it is one alumni at the end of the day. So for if you need something for up.
Thank you, Bayo. All right, so you have the question about unemployment. So I think we can go to the next candidate as well to answer that question.
Oh, yes. So first of all, they have to be willing, to declare that they're actually searching, because see, a lot of people just, don't want people to know that, they're searching or they're transitioning, so basically is to create a platform where they can actually openly come to say that, you know what, I'm actually job hunting right now and we need help. So, if it's more like reviewing their CVs, because the truth is sometimes people outgrow CVs, right? They need to be able to review those CVs. They need to be able to also, talk about what the real current issues that they face. Why did they leave in the first place? Really, what do they want? Why did they leave? Some of them are dealing with difficult bosses. They don't even know how to play office politics. Some people prefer to resign, but is that the right thing to do? Or is that the way to go about it? There are ways to play these things, and that's the truth. Politics is everywhere. So again, we need to know exactly what the issues are so that we can address them accordingly to specific needs. And then, of course, we can better get people with support.
Thank you so much. So finally, I'm going to ask this because we know that CU is a school that's preparing people not just for, we talked about entrepreneurship and business before, but now we also know that some people, again, are building their career paths. So if people are curious, how can we partner with CU to continue to prepare our students for the world of work? And also, how do we get our alumni to give back through coaching and mentorship? I would throw both at you, and you quickly just take anyone you want to take in the next 1 minute, and we wrap up.
Is that me?
Yeah, any of you can take it. The floor is open. Take one. How
Okay.
can we see the continue to prepare students for work, and how do we get our alumni to give back through coaching and mentorship? Pick anyone.
Okay, so yes, like I mentioned before, having a faculty of people who are willing to give back. So first of all is willing to know that you can add value to these people. See that people are actually, watching, following your footsteps. They are looking at ways they can also improve. So it's a way of giving back, to the community, as well as, of course, having programs, with these people, mentoring them, having some form of internship programs, getting internship placements, for these people, for those that are still in school, and then of course relating with university, of course, relations and all of that to ensure that the specific areas that they need, to work on and to address. So I think that getting internship opportunities and placements, even before they leave. In fact, I feel like the trainings, the skills should be learned before they leave school, so that employability skills training after school is a lot more easier and they can relate better before they get jobs.
Thank you, Bayo.
Thank you, Bemi. So what we are going to do is that we are going to have, I think we've been doing that in the past, but one of the things we are going to do, we can intensify it. So rather than waiting for the last semester of the final year students, we can start from first semester, just have career sessions for them, have interview workshop. I know some of these things are currently being done in Covenant University, but we are going to come from more like the industry perspective, and there's a lot of people that actually want to give back, but there's no platform for that. So we're going to create platform from that, and even we can even mentor students as well. I know I went to give a public lecture for engineering, and a couple of students reached out to us that they want to partner and have mentors that are really from chemical engineering departments and also we can do this in a bigger forum and help people from even first semester of their final lab before they get to the second semester and teach them what it takes to be employable in the field of work. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you to you both. Amazing, amazing session. I just want to remind people when you're commenting on the Zoom, please change to everyone because you're not able to engage with the rest of the people if you're sending your comments to the host and the panelists. So check at the bottom and change the arrow. But thank you so much, Wimi and Bayo. We're so excited. We know that CU milks and makes amazing people, and you are amazing. So we're excited about either of you filling that position and giving us all that you've promised. So good luck. And if anyone has any question for them, please send it to them directly. I'm sure they'll share how to reach out to them. Please share if you want to learn about their manifesto in depth and their plans, reach out directly to them. We're going to go to break now before the final round where we have two different people vying for two different positions. They don't have any contending, they don't have any opponents. So we're going to hear from them at the same time. So hang in there with us. We need a few more minutes, maybe 30 minutes thereabout. But before then, we're going to take a quick break for you to go for a bathroom break or go drink water, get coffee, whatever. And Gabriel, over to you.
Hi guys, so we're going on a break for 1 quick minute. If you have any messages you need to respond to urgently, or you need to quickly run to the toilet or grab a glass of water, I believe for the next round we have Sheyi Ainla for going for the position VP Corporate Communication, and we have Ogochukwu Mba going for the position VP Welfare. We'll be right back. See you soon.
Smile for me, even if you're sad. Oh. Be good to me, even if you're bad. Oh. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you feel that for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crack. Oh. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile.
Hi guys, sorry, my video has been disabled. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Technical glitch.
Yeah, same here.
But that's all right. Welcome back, everyone. We are in the middle of the 2023 CUALA Know Your Candidates pre-election events. Right now, we're about to take our third and fourth round, but we're going to do them together. For candidates going for the positions of VP Corporate Communication and VP Welfare, I'm going to introduce, first of all, the candidate for VP Communication, Sheyi Ainla. Are you here? Yes, I see you, Shay. Hi, Shay.
Hey, hello. How are you doing?
Hiya. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Thank you for your patience. And it's not easy to go. And it's not easy to go third. And you've been waiting, seeing all the vast ghosts from the previous rounds. Well, I
It's
mean,
giving us energy.
it is good. That's good. Energy is what we want. We want
Exactly.
energy, and we also want you to express yourself, express your vision, and just go for it. I'm going to also introduce the candidate for the position VP Welfare, Ogo Chuku Umba. Hi, Ogo. Hi, Ogo Chuku. Are you there? Your mic.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah. Is it? Hi, good.
Right. I should say these aren't, just to remind everyone, these aren't two candidates going for the same position. They're candidates running right now. They're the only candidates declared for these positions, but this is a KYC event, so we want to hear you guys talk. We want to hear what you're planning. We want to hear about you. So without further ado, I'm sure you know the rules already. We'll try to keep to time. We'll try and give you a great opportunity to express yourselves. If you run over time, we might have to mute you. No offense intended, but we have a lot of ground to cover. We have been here for a while. To the audience, you've been wonderful. Thank you. We know it's running late. We know it's Friday night, but we care about CU. That's why we're here. Thank you so much. Please stay with us. To the panel, you guys are killer. Keep going. Naraya, over to you.
We shall not be killers in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Hi, everyone. It's good to see everyone again. And thank you for hanging in there. Thank you, Gabriel, for opening the session. Hi, Ogo. Hi, Shay. Excited to chat with you today. Please, the seat is going to be very hot, but I trust that you're able to handle it. So take it, relax, get some water, and have fun with us as well. It's just that we want to hear your plans for us and to see how we can also help you in the future execute those plans. Okay, so let's see. So let's try something, right? So let's do a little exercise, like just can you like bend your fingers or something? Get ready, because this next icebreaker, you need the energy, you need rapport, all of that. All right, let's go. So, does this line sound familiar to you? We're covenant generation.
Yes.
Alphabetically, let's complete it. So, I start. We're a covenant generation, and then you do the back to back. Ogo, you're next. Are you there?
In excellence.
Okay.
Redeemed to reign, learning to lead.
Okay. One line. Let's go.
Obeying rules.
Okay.
Okay, should I skip? Making kings of youth.
Flying high on covenant wings.
Okay, everyone, including those on the chat, let's go. All right, let's do the other part together.
For change. Inspired by fire, with courage marching on in grace. I will shine for glory.
Ooh, great, amazing. In fact, you have gotten the roles. I kid. Please, everyone vote. And I know that I think particularly for you, you need to amass 1,000 votes, even though you're the single contestant for these positions. So this is why it's important that we're doing this today. But yeah, we had to go back. I was thinking, let's do the second verse, but let me pity you today. Okay, if you want to continue the second verse, please do it in the comments section. But because of time, we've been here for a long time. I would like to give people the time back. Okay. All right. So welcome again to this session, and to the opportunity to share your manifesto and to talk about yourself. That's precisely what we're going to do. My name is Naraya Marcos. In CUI, my name was, or I used to use Cynthia Ubioha, in case you're curious. I would like you to introduce yourselves and also share your manifesto with us. You have 3 minutes each to do that. So Shay, let's start with you.
Okay, thank you. Is the timer on? I can't see it, so I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So hi everybody, my name is Oluwasei Ayla. Most people call me Shay, so that's okay. And I am running to be the next VP Corporate Communications for CUALA. I currently serve in the current administration as well, which is led by our able president in the chat. I see you. And I'm currently the flight lead for the 2007 graduating set. Outside CUALA, I am a woman in tech, proudly as well. I work as a product lead for one of UK's leading groceries and general merch retail brands, where I lead a diverse team who create industry-leading data products. So that's something that I really, really enjoy. I am also the founder of an African wedding media brand called Love Weddings NG. So some of you might know about the brand, and we've been able to build a community of over 2 million viewers across various platforms, and we have a buzzing community of over 300 business owners as well, who are located, around the world. In case you missed it at the beginning, because this is important, I am running to become the next VP Corporate Communications for CUALA because I want to expand the impact that I've had over the last 2 years. So like I said, I currently serve as flight lead, and I definitely see an opportunity to increase that impact. And my agenda is very simple. I want to create a comms directorate that will soar by building strategic partnerships with other directorates and external parties where needed, with open ears to listen to the community, because we have to listen to each other. So that's one of my agenda, while also being an amplifier for Eagles and matters that concern us, and being resourceful while at it. So that's my agenda, and I encourage you and I welcome you to soar with Shay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. Ogo, could you do the same thing as well? Intro and sharing your manifesto, 3 minutes, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Sorry, I think there's a time lag. All right. My name is Ogochikumba, and I was nominated for Vice President Welfare. Graduated best set Trinity 2008. And I currently am a financial professional, a chartered banker. I've worked in the banking space and also in the capital market space here in Nigeria. Beyond my professional life, I'm very dedicated to service, fostering friendships. I'm very big on friendship and also nurturing communities. And I know that I'm going to be bringing 3 things on board, which is going to be on improvement of physical well-being, strengthening emotional resilience, and community fortification. And the thing is, I'm not going to be working alone. I'm going to be working with everybody. CUALA is for everyone. And the whole idea is bringing welfare to everybody, to all the Eagles. That's the whole idea, bringing it closer. And I'm not going to be doing it in isolation. I'm going to be working with the chapter leads and the flight leads and everyone. We're going to be working as a team. So that's me. That's Ogochikumba. Thank you.
Thank you, Ogochukwu. So why are you running for this office? I know you've shared it, you've touched on your manifesto just a bit. But why are you running for this office? Why is this important to you? And what makes you best suited to run for this office?
Okay. I'm very passionate about the Alumni Association. I am anywhere you see me, I'm always shouting about Covenant University. Like, even when I'm not arguing with anybody, but I'm very big on the brand Covenant University and the Alumni Association. And I know that there's a lot that has to be done when it comes to well-being, our physical well-being, emotional well-being. And that is what I'm concerned about when it comes to welfare. And I'm passionate about why I'm even running is because, one, because of my passion, I have been very active with the Alumni Association in providing, I've been volunteering in some projects, and also as a mentor as well in the past 2 years. And that is me. I'm basically trying to say that I am very excited about helping the alumni in any way. And why am I best suited for this role? I currently serve as a welfare lead in my local church. and where we do other things, celebrate people, make them feel very important. So I'm literally bringing that same experience here into CUALA. And aside from my local church, I'm also looking at how I currently lead an initiative, 360 Woman. And most of what we actually do is basically helping women be better versions of themselves. So I'm big on people. I know that if I am allowed to work, if I become VP welfare, I'm literally going to be using my network to help move CUALA forward and just help the association generally. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. Could you take the same question? Why are you, what makes you best suited for this role?
Absolutely. So I know August said it as well, but I'll repeat it. I am passionate about this association and the community. I've always been passionate about, my course. So I graduated with mass communication, with a degree in mass communication in 2007. And I've always been passionate about just seeing all of us as a course stick together, right from my days as class rep. And I wanted to expand my influence, which is what led me to running, for the flight lead office, which I currently occupy. And within this time, I've definitely gone through a bit of a journey myself, going from connecting course mates to now connecting beyond people who graduated in my set. It's given me the opportunity to definitely work with a lot of diverse groups and people who graduated across different flights, different chapters, which is our location-based communities as well, for those who don't know. And for me, I've seen that CUALA is definitely the gift that keeps on giving. It's so powerful. It's almost one of those things that it fosters the kind of energy and power, that builds valuable connections, interactions, and the kind of networks. I've seen this happen live. So for me, what makes me well suited for the role, the first thing is definitely my passion to see this association kind of move to the next level and contribute my skills and my knowledge and my quota to it. The second thing is definitely my knowledge of working with the current executive team, particularly with the comms team. So Nene, who is the current lead for the comms, our current VP corporate communications, will attest to the fact that I have worked with the team time and time again on various projects, most notably the CUALA program. So on this, I was a core team member, making sure that all of the comms needs for that program were on point. So if you saw anything around When Eagles Worship, the documentary, the endowment fund, the last Eagles Summit, I definitely had a hand in that as well. So I've served in that capacity. I've been on the inside and I have a firm understanding of what it means to run that directorate. Because of the experience that I've also, had working as flight lead and as a volunteer, I also know very much that this role requires somebody who is a people person. You have to have the ability to work with a diverse group of people across all the VPs, chapters, flights, and also the president. So it's a very, very, people heavy role. And I definitely bring that because that's something that I do day to day. I also know that it's a strategic position. Comms is like that glue that keeps everybody together. So you need to have a vision, you need to have a strategy, and you need to be able to influence others as well. And I definitely do this in my day-to-day job, and I know that I can deliver on it. And most of all, I studied mass communication, like I said. Communication is in my degree name, so I feel like I bring that energy as well. So yeah, I definitely feel like I'm well suited for this role for all of those reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to remind everyone to please send your questions in using the Q&A feature, one. Then two, when you're messaging the chat, great conversations, very exciting. Please ensure that you're sending to everyone and not the hosts and panelists. Just check that blue button that you can change to everyone so we can join the fun. You can join the fun and we can also laugh at your comments or empathize or smile and or think deeply about what you're saying. Cool. Thank you so much, Shay and Ogo, for taking that question. All right. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for taking on the nomination for the role and also pretty much answering the call. We call it a clarion call, right? My question to you would be, how does it make you feel to realize that you're the only person that will be running for this position? And also by the way, you still have to amass your 1,000 votes anyway to get it. Well, how does it make you feel to be the only one in this position?
Should I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay, definitely for me, my first reaction was one of shock. I don't think I've ever experienced the VP Corporate Comms office have only one candidate. Like I definitely was shocked. And there's definitely a feeling of responsibility as well. You know, knowing that people have looked at you and they think that you bring something to the table, there's definitely a huge sense of responsibility. Like I said, I've served within the comms team, working with the current comms team, so I know that it's definitely a huge task. It's a lot of work. So there's this huge sense of responsibility that you just feel, you know, thinking, oh my God, someone thinks I can deliver against this amazing opportunity. So yeah, I would say shock and then a sense of responsibility. And running unopposed, you know, for me, it's just, yeah, it's a very, very interesting journey that I'm taking. And I like the fact that despite running unopposed, you still have to do the work, you still have to campaign. And I'm definitely happy that we're having to still sell ourselves to the community regardless. So yeah.
Thank you. Ogochukwu.
Okay, so I think for me, I was shocked as well, and also very excited and happy that I know that some people in my community can actually see that I can deliver on this particular mandate. And running unopposed was, I think I wasn't even aware of the 1,000 votes until we had a meeting. And I was like, I was already being out. I was warned already not to relax, but instead I should even put in more pressure. So running with this, I had to even step up my game and come 100%. So I think for me, it's even more pressure there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. So you take the next question. So using your office, what are the 3 major problems you plan to tackle for the Eagles if you do get the position of the VP for you, or that will be VP welfare, and how do you plan to get them solved?
Okay, so when I was nominated, what I did was to have a conversation with the current VP, Uchendu, and so I'm literally going to be leveraging the good job she has done and add new initiatives, introduce new initiatives to what we have. I'm going to be looking at 3 areas, which is fiscal well-being, emotional resilience, and community fortification. Now, for fiscal well-being, a session was held at the beginning of the year, and we're going to be doing more regular fitness programs across the country, across the world. And also, she has already started having she had discussions with, or rather, she even implemented, or rather, the team implemented, partnered with Govi Health. And basically, what I'm going to be doing is strengthening what we currently have, and also introducing more partnerships with experts and provide access to valuable resources. So you can imagine an Eagle going to iFitness, especially here in Nigeria, and you have like maybe 20% discount. That would be amazing. When it comes to emotional resilience, I'm going to be creating, which the current team has already done, where you have the Ngovi Health, where you can go and, you can rant. And so basically what I'm going to be doing is creating a safe space for people to have conversations. But the thing is also bringing more people on board. I don't think people really are aware of that platform and that we have a discount. Eagles have a discount. So bringing more people on board on that platform. Then also work with chapter and flight leads. We're not doing this alone. So again, basically, I'm going to be fostering peer discussions and counseling resources. So in this case, we're going to be having more of meet and greet sessions. Graduates that have left school, they having a session with people that are already on ground, Eagles that are already on ground, and basically just letting them know that life is not that hard. Life is not that difficult. And just letting them know what's going on outside, and they're not alone. So my goal is basically bringing welfare to people. Then when it comes to community fortification, I'm not doing this alone. I'm going to be working with VP community engagement as well. So basically, the whole idea is engaging in impactful activities. I don't know, when we were in school then, I remember we used to go out to, pick things, clear the environment. This is us giving back to the community. So we're going to be doing more of that in this channel. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ogo. Please, everyone, remember to toggle your the thing to everyone, the button, because everyone wants to see your comment, right? So do not just message the hosts and panelists. Same question for you, Shay. I can repeat it. Using your office, what are the top three problems you plan to solve for the Eagles? And how do you plan to get them solved as the VP of Corporate Comms?
Thank you, Naraya. That's a great question. So for me, one of the first things, it's not really a problem, but it's more of a statement. So I acknowledge that CU since inception has produced over 20 sets of graduates. And this means, well, around 20, I'm not sure of the number now, but this means that our audience is so varied. We have diverse age ranges, various locations, and it's not a problem, but it's just something that we have to get right, because we need to ask ourselves, how do we reach millennials, Gen Zs, but also Gen to be confirmed? How do we make sure that we're reaching all of these people and making sure that nobody's left behind? So that is definitely one of the first things that I would like to address and just find a solution to. The second thing is this idea of making information accessible. If I had a kobo or a penny for every time somebody will ask me this question of where do I find this CUALA information that is already publicly available, I promise you I'll be a millionaire by now. So many times we get questions, oh, how do I get my transcript? How do I do this? How do I do that? All of that information is out there, but for some reason, people are not, they don't know that it's there. So there's a question of accessibility for me that I really, really want to get behind. I don't really know exactly what the reasons are, but whatever that reason is, or whatever those reasons are, I definitely want to build a team that will get to the bottom of that and ensure that where something is publicly available, you can access it. And if it's not there, then we create that, access for you and the solution to that question. And the last one, there are other things that I can mention, but I'm going to stop at this three because that's what you asked. The last one that I definitely want to look at is this idea of they and them. So a lot of times people say, oh, you, like even now with the registration, they'll say, oh, you said we should register. You people said we should. And it just makes me smile every time because we've almost removed ourselves from CUALA. Ultimately, CUALA is about you, it's about me, it's about everybody. You are CUALA, you are what you make this association. If you give into it, it will give back to you. So I want to, and I feel like comms is a strong player in this market. I feel like comms is one of those directorates and areas that can make people feel like actually this is my thing, this is my own, I own this and I see myself in this. So I really, really want to get us to a point where we transcend from this shifting ownership of CUALA to just somebody else or a group of people and actually internalizing it ourselves. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you. So what programs being run in the office right now? Both of you have talked about the current VPs in the positions that you're vying for. And it would be good to hear as well what programs being run in the office now that you're looking to continue or stop and why.
Okay.
Jay.
Great question. Okay, thank you. So continue. I think the current administration and previous administrations have done a great job with the spotlights. That is something that we've continued to do. And we've seen the impact. Recently, I remember when I can't remember the movie, but we did a showcase when Gangs of Lagos came out, and people were like, "Oh my God, I didn't know this person was an Eagle." So I've seen the impact when we do spotlights, how that basically makes a connection for someone. People are like, "Oh my God, Simi is a grad," or "Bimbo Ademoye is a grad," or "this other person is a grad." So spotlights definitely is a winner. I think that is not going anywhere as far as I'm concerned. It's something that I think we should continue, because it's one of the ways that, again, Eagles see themselves through us, and it transforms us from this them to I and myself. We also send monthly newsletters at the moment. It was interesting listening to the sessions earlier, because one thing I've definitely heard from Eagles is that this your newsletter is too long. It's always long. So it's interesting because I know people receive those. So for me, that's something that I want to continue, because that's a way for us to deliver, CUALA news information to people's inbox, at least for those who have subscribed. Not everybody has subscribed, and that's also a different problem on its own, but that's something that I definitely see myself continuing. The other thing that I'm definitely passionate about doing is making sure that we maintain the energy that we bring with this fun and innovative ideas. For example, Love in Hebron. I don't know how many of you keep up with that, but I love when I see that, oh my God, two eagles met, and they found love and they're married now and all of that. So things like that are exciting, innovative, and just fun. Not everything needs to be that serious. Definitely will be things that I want to continue. In terms of, did you ask about stop as well?
Yeah, continue or stop. Which ones?
Okay.
We have 1 minute.
Okay. So in terms of stop, I personally don't see any right now that I would stop. However, there are things that I definitely would say that I'm interested in exploring further. So one of the things that's on my mind is very much this idea that the comms office can actually be really resourceful and go beyond almost like the BAU things that we do right now. And one of those things is becoming an income generating unit. A lot of people have talked on this call about great initiatives. At the end of the day, if we don't have money, we can't do these things. It's just the fact of life. And I personally feel like because of the power that we have through the content that we create in comms, we might be in a very, very good position to actually become an income generating unit so that we, take off the burden that we currently have on things like dues, and potentially, the donations that we have to do. So that definitely is something that I'm looking to explore.
Great, thank you. I see a comment here. Mrs. Welfare can do a Love in Hebron. Yes, as someone married to an eagle, I can say this myself too. So Ogo, let's take the same question. What programs being run in the office are you looking to continue or stop, and why?
Okay. All right. So the current administration they've done a very fantastic job. And the things I'm going to continue is one, the fitness program, have more of it. Then also I know that the current administration also created a welfare policy. So there's going to be like an annual review of the policy and see what we can add to it and what we can take out. So basically just review it in line with best standards. We're also going to look at also getting more people on board to use the Eagles, to use the Ngovi Health platform. It's a very fantastic one. And also have more spiritual sessions. We already have the Eagles monthly prayer meeting, but we'll have more of that, and even have a day of fasting, a day of even vigil or something, just basically fortify the spiritual angle of CUALA. Then and also get more people, get Eagles to join the meeting. Basically, that's very important. So the whole idea, my own approach is basically going to be improving upon the existing structures and build upon their successes. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we have 2 questions left here curated, and I'm looking forward to more questions on the Q&A. I don't think we have anyone there. Maybe you're doing so good that the people feel their questions are really answered, or people are like, okay, we need to go, but I'll tell you, we have a few minutes left, so we'll be wrapping up shortly. But please, if you have any questions for them, please post them using the Q&A feature so we can ask the questions and get a collective response, okay? All right, so Ogo, now what does success, or what would it look like for you? Let's look into the future. If you were to win this election and then we had to review in 2 years, what does success look like for you? 3 minutes.
Okay, success for me would be positive impact on Eagles. So this will be through the fitness program. This is an example. So look at, I see someone and person is giving like testimony saying that, oh, I lost a lot of weight because of the regular sessions that we've been having. So basically it's more of the positive impact on CUALA, on the Eagles. I'm going to be doing more. So I'm looking at having more partnerships, and it's not just here in Nigeria, but also international partnerships as well. I know that the current administration is actually working on it, but this is when we have more, we can say that, oh, this is what we did. We partnered with iFitness, like I mentioned, Oriki, NAC, Spa. So basically even Eagles businesses, how we can actually partner with them to get discounts for Eagles. So that's success for me, that we have more people in CUALA, more Eagles onboarded in CUALA, and they're saying that yes, their lives have actually changed because of CUALA. Thank you.
Thank you. Sherry, let's go over to you with the question. Same question. What does success look like for you? Sherry, projecting into 2 years from now, that's 2025, and you're in this position. What does it look like to you if you win?
Amazing. So for me, success definitely looks like every Eagle, regardless of what graduating set or flight you belong to, whichever chapter that you reside in, or whichever micro community that you're in. I want people to be able to say, like, CUALA is me. Like, I want people to be able to say, I see myself in that. And the way that I think that that will translate is for when people walk into a store, rather than saying, CUALA is doing an event, CUALA is hosting a welfare event, CUALA partnered with Nguvu. I want them to say, did you know we did it? Did you know that we have a partnership? Did you know that our careers team is doing this? Like that personalization, I think that's how we get, you know, the energy that we need to really, really take the alumni from where it is. The kind of association that people make with Harvard. You don't even need to, you know, ask people, where did you graduate from? They'll be like, you know, I'm this kind of person. So that's the kind of success that's what I think success would look like, where people start to personalize CUALA and they say, I did this, so I'm part of this association that did this. I also think that success for me, because of the position that I'm rooting for as comms, is also creating this harmony. I saw somebody with the name Harmony in the chat earlier, so I don't know if this is why I'm saying this, but I think harmonization or some kind of harmony between all the directorates is important. I've heard on this call, so many of us say we want to send survey links, we want to send reports. At the end of the day, right, guess what? We're all trying to reach the same body of Eagles. Imagine if every single Eagle receives an individual email from all of these directorates. I mean, you can tell me in the chat how you're going to respond to that. So for me, success looks like the whole of CUALA and every VP, the president, every flight, every chapter working together so that even though people are receiving all of these comms, they don't feel like it's coming from different places. So for me, it's that, you know, creating some kind of harmony between all of the directorates so that we're all speaking one language, we're reaching the same group of people, and people don't feel inundated and stressed out and like, oh my God, why are you emailing me 1 million times? So those two things would be key measures of success for me.
Great, thank you. So let's do the last question. We don't have anything from the open floor. So let's take the last question. Thank you for holding it down. You both are the last here today, but not the least. So I'm just going to ask this question and give you time to just talk about, you know, how we can hold you accountable to your promises. We've heard a lot, for example, you know, coordinating the whole directories, making sure we're not spammed. If that's not the word you were trying to use, I can use it. And of course, well, the same thing, you know, talking about, you know, caring for us and, you know, all of that. So how are we going to hold you accountable to your campaign promises?
Okay, am I starting this?
We can start with, we can start with you because you ended.
Okay, perfect. So how would you hold me accountable? I'm actually, I think, first of all, this office is not the kind of office that you can hide. If comms is not working, I think this is probably one of those offices that will be exposed first before others. So you'll probably see it first. So you probably be like, Shay, what are you doing? And you notice it immediately. However, in terms of how you would hold myself accountable as the VP corporate comms. Thankfully, CUALA already has existing forums and systems that I definitely think are worth leveraging. So for example, we do a half year report. I know not many people check, but it's important that we check. If you go to this website, every half year, we actually write a report on how every single directorate is performing, every single chapter flight is performing. The information is there. If you don't believe me, just go and check. I can send you the direct link. So I definitely will be contributing to that report because again, I think I have a no spam agenda because, you know, this is important to me. So I definitely will be contributing to that. And I have been doing that, you know, as the flight lead for the 2007 set. So this is something I'm familiar with as well. We also have events. So we have Town Hall, we have Eagle Summit, where leaders have to report on how they're performing quite regularly as well. So if given the opportunity, those forums exist for me to give, you know, an update with regards to how the corporate comms team is doing and our success and metrics and all of those type of things. But most importantly, and I think this is key for myself, but every role and every candidate who has talked today, you can tell if something is working mostly when you're on the inside. So again, back to this them and us and they and CUALA, I want to invite you actually, if you want to be able to hold me accountable, please volunteer to join my team. There should be a link in the chat right now. I invite you to join that group, show your interest, put your hand up and say, do you know what? I'm hearing all the things that you're saying. It sounds amazing, but I want to hold you accountable. I want to volunteer to join your team. I don't know in what capacity yet, but I want to kind of come forward and do that. Do it because guess what? You'll be in the back end. You'll see if I'm sleeping every day. You'll know if I'm lazing about. You'll know if I'm doing any work because you will be there. So that basically for me is the best way for you to track success or failure, I guess, of my agenda. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Just to set expectations and to not bust your bubble, we have some questions. Sorry for the technical glitch. They were not visible initially, but now I see a few. So I'm going to please ask you to give us like 2 minutes each of your time as well to take some of those questions. And this is not just the candidates, but also those listening in, because I want to ensure that we hear the voice of the people, okay? So after this question, I'll take 2 individual questions that came in from the audience for you to answer. So what does success look like to you? I'm sorry, how would you hold you accountable to your promises?
Okay, so she just said something about the current administration sending in there's a report where you can see the success and the status report of what's happening across the directorate. So I'm going to be leveraging that. And also we're going to maintain open line of communication within the community. If you have any form of grievances or you want to basically hold us accountable, there's actually going to be an open line of communication where you can actually tell us what exactly you want us to do. Basically also you're going to also hold me accountable to all my commitments, everything I've said. I'm not going to in any way like, okay, maybe it's very difficult to reach the vice president welfare. It's going to be very open for you to do that. And just like how we run normal organizations where you can have like meetings, like board meetings that you go tell, oh, what have I done this quarter? So basically that even puts you on your toes. So that's also what we're going to be doing. Quarterly reports, status report, what have we done across that the welfare directorate, just to keep ourselves accountable. Yes. Thank you.
All right, so let's do 1 minute each for these 2 last questions for each of you. So Ogo, the question is, your initiatives sound very tailored to Nigeria. How are you designing for global chapters? 1 minute.
Okay, thank you very much. So like I said earlier on, I'm not going to be working alone. I have the chapter leads across the outside the country. I have the flight leads as well. We're going to be working as a team. Welfare is not just Ogochukwu, it's going to be CUALA, and we're all going to be working together. And I'm not even saying it's going to be we. We're going to be working on different partnerships. As once we go into office, we're hitting the ground running and seeing how we can come up with initiatives that can also help the Eagles that are outside Nigeria. So it's not just, I'll just only give you an example. It's not just only in Nigeria, but also outside the country. But I'm not working in isolation. I'm also working with the chapter leads as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Shay, 1 minute, I was also asked to ask you the opposite. What do you have for the diaspora?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, loads. So for me, definitely it would be key to work with the chapter leads. As a flight lead myself, I've worked in that position and I understand the power of local leadership. That is the way that you decentralize. So the way that I work with Eagles in Diaspora is by leveraging the chapter leads. I have done that in my capacity working and volunteering myself even with the Europe community because that's where I'm based. And I've seen the level of insights that I can get from just accessing that thing. So I definitely feel like you will see diaspora heavily represented. Again, we have data within the comms that we'll definitely be using and leveraging on, but that would be my strategy to do that.
Great, thank you. So just to build up on that particular question, how would you give clarity to the vision of CUALA as VP Comms, especially on a global level?
Amazing. That's a great question. So I actually think that the vision of CUALA, I'm not sure if people realize, but again, I know I sound like a broken record. It's actually on the website. So it's basically the current vision is creating an alumni for all. And I know that that has its different manifestations to different people. So I spoke earlier about understanding, the people who form this 20 potential 20 sets of graduate I don't know what the right word is, graduating sets from Covenant University. I think the key to delivering that vision to them is understanding who they are. And understanding who they are is not just, oh, this is their age, this is their location. It's where do they hang out? Are they are they on LinkedIn? Are they on TikTok? Are they on a new social media platform that we're not even aware of right now? There are different people depending on your location. You could be in a totally different place that we don't have visibility of. So one of my first things in office is to try and create a program that leverages understanding that, and that's how we'll get the vision over to them in the way that they want by speaking their language.
Okay. Someone asked, are they on Threads?
It might be, who knows?
Okay, so Olga is not here. I'll keep giving you some questions while we wait for her to come back.
Okay. Oh, she's back.
All right, great. So there's a question here for you. How would you try to improve the mental welfare of eagles, especially those struggling with neurodevelopmental issues?
Okay. So one of the ideas that I have is one, I'm definitely going to be working with the career team, but also looking at how we can recommend books, how we can recommend books for people to read maybe on a quarterly basis or on a monthly basis. But basically, like I said, we're going to leverage Ngovi Health and see how, based on the challenge, we're basically going to be partnering with them to see how areas that we can step in, we can see how we can actually leverage the community to solve such problems if they cannot do that. But in terms of looking at, how can we, maybe books, reading more books, do what they call it, do regular reviews as well. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, thank you. And there are some suggestions on the chat as well. Refer them to professionals. The welfare team should reach out to psychologists in the house. Okay, so Ogo, I'll give you, I think this is for you, another one, but we can wrap up with these last two questions. Let me see. No, Shay, I think it's actually for you. So of course the ESCOs also care about staying connected. And the question is, how do you intend on bridging the gap between the alumni members and the ESCOs as well as our immediate environment?
Amazing question. Is the timer started? Yeah, okay. So one of my, in my manifesto, I talk about SOAR, and the O there is open ears, listening to the community. So I definitely believe that feedback is so powerful, and people will talk, people will share what they want to see. So one of the ideas that I definitely have is listening to the community quite regularly, but taking that feedback to all the EXCOs. So right now, I mean, we have a community of current leaders and we maintain a very open relationship. So I'm hoping that in the new administration as well, if I get given the opportunity, that will continue. And it will just be making sure that every leader knows that there's that channel so that every Eagle knows that they can speak through the comms team if they need to and make that visible to the EXCOs. But would also try fun ideas. For example, what's stopping us from doing a day in the life of the VP business, a day in the life of the VP finance? Because I really feel like people are not seeing, what it takes. So that's what I'll do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We could go on and on and on, but everyone on the chat, the participants, the audience, everyone listening, please send your questions directly to them. They are here and they are accessible. And I know that they've started sharing the links on how to reach out to them with their campaign names. So please reach out to Ogo, reach out to Shay if you have further questions. And I'm really impressed with the plans that you both have for your offices. Really excited. I'm not expecting anything less from CU Eagles. So wishing you all the best out there. And I hope you get to your 1,000 votes if you're the only person buying. So I hope people also remember to vote and to send it to make it 1,000 for you to qualify. All right, so over to you, Gabriel. Thank you for taking the wrap up.
Thank you, Ogochukwu. Thank you, Shay. Amazing session. Learned a lot. Ogo, before you go, those discounts, you need to hook us up, like put it out there. Like if we're getting 20% anyways, we need to know about this. This is important information. But yeah, thank you both so much. Just a reminder, those were two separate positions and two very special candidates, like all our other special candidates. Thank you guys for being here. And sometimes they say you save best for last, and this is not an exception. Thank you guys. Right, to everyone who's here, for everyone who stayed this long, thank you. It's not easy to dedicate 2-3 hours of your Friday evening to your alumni, and you've done that, and we appreciate that. We've heard a lot, and one question we made sure to ask everyone was how to hold them accountable. We got promises of 1 month, we got promises of quarterly, and I think people heard, and people will hold people to these campaign promises. So thank you very much. It's been an amazing session. I think we're gonna wrap up in a second. Is there anything from CUALA? Kemi Onobanjo, is there anything at all? Sorry, forgive me. I need to quickly check
People need to
something.
register, so the link to register to vote is
Yes. Thank you, Naraya. Sorry, go. Naraya, go.
Oh no, I was just saying the link is there to register. But I wanted to also give a shout out to our very able timekeeper, very prompt, so please round of applause for Omoshola that held it down for us behind the scenes. But yeah, Gabriel, please, over to you.
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to be back here on Tuesday the 7th, on Tuesday the 5th at 7:30. We're going to have a couple of sessions a couple of KYC sessions for VP Community Engagement, VP Finance, VP University Relations. The quality of candidates we have here at CU, so you should expect more of the same. So we'll be back here Tuesday. Regarding the registration, there have been links in the chat to do the pre-registration with your matric number so you can vote. Candidates, make sure you register yourself so you can vote for yourself. That's one vote. People, the comments are nice, the engagement is nice, but if you don't register, you can't vote. And literally, that's what we are trying to support these candidates. We're trying to put the best and most passionate candidates in office at this time. So please make sure you register, make sure you share that registration link with any other alumni you know. Let's get the ball rolling. In the meantime, I think we've had a great session today. I think we can end it here. Omoshola CUALA Secretariat, is there anything else? My President Kemi, is there anything else before we break for tonight? No? Well, once again, thank you guys very much. It's been day one of CUALA 2023 KYC. God bless all of you, and we will see you again on Tuesday. To the team, Naraya, Omoshola, Demilade, not Demilade, Naraya, Omoshola, Sheyi, Ogochukwu. Sorry, I can't even call all the names here.
All right.
You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you on Tuesday.
Thank you, everyone. All the best.
Will you fight for me? Even if now go down, take a ride with me. Don't you anybody to my Ferrando.